Yeah.
and then we played until 9 in the morning. So I essentially was drunk for nearly 12 hours. I felt so fucking terrible last week. I was just a write-off, crap dad, can't function. I was like, fuck this.
You're a gambling degenerate.
Yeah, I just gave
Degenerate
up.
gambler.
Just that's it. I'm giving up. I'm not drinking again.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, what's going on? Long time no see.
What's up, buddy?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, Pete, I had a very similar feeling last Friday. I felt like total shit, and I was so hungover, and I was so tired, and it was like, and I played so shitty. I was like, fuck this, man. I'm not drinking tonight, that's for sure. A couple drinks, and that's it.
You're right, mate. Yeah, it's too much, man. Just being a shit dad as well.
Yeah.
Like, just can't function. Just I don't want to be this guy. So too old for
I feel like I'm a much better dog parent when drunk. Akira seems to appreciate my playfulness when inebriated.
What about when hungover?
I'm really not a heavy drinker at all. I like never have a temptation to drink to excess, and so I almost never am hungover.
I've definitely tried to give you get you going during the games at the blocks office. Never worked.
But I'll drink, but I just like I'll have a couple drinks and I just like really don't want more. So same with like red wine doesn't give me headaches or I don't get any hangover effect from that. So I can have a bottle of red wine and feel nothing the next morning. Feel fine.
There's a lot of showing off here.
No, but I'm not saying I can like I don't have a high tolerance. I'm not pounding like 10 drinks. I'm just saying I'll have 3 over the course of 3 hours and feel fine. I'm not like bragging or anything.
Did you guys play late last week? Did you stay
9
in the
in the
game?
morning I finished.
That's great.
Essentially an 8-hour game.
The thing I like with whiskey and poker is dark chocolate goes well as well.
Oh, dark chocolate is the best.
Dark chocolate and whiskey.
I didn't know that with whiskey and never had that.
Neither.
Yeah,
Luke,
and that and a
you
cigar.
got
No,
But
I
I'm
wasn't.
playing indoors, so no cigar.
I just turned
I'm
straddle
a
on.
cigar guy myself, so I enjoy that with some whiskey. I actually dropped my hookah a few weeks ago, so she's done. She broke on me. That's it for now.
I think I mentioned on a previous Crypto After Dark, I had a long road to quitting e-cigs. I'd never been a cigarette smoker. I was chain smoking e-cigs.
Man.
And over quarantine, I basically like COVID came and I'm like, I probably should not have like messed up lungs to start with. It was just a good excuse to quit. But it was hard. I was definitely addicted to nicotine. It was tough.
I can't remember what was the strategy. What was your strategy to get off of it?
So I used I tried a couple times to quit cold turkey and it didn't work. So I used the patches.
So they work. What do you do? Just wean yourself off them?
Yeah, the idea is you're really addicted to 2 separate things, like the oral fixation of smoking and then the nicotine. So it helps to be able to separate the two. So yeah, you start with a really high dosage of the nicotine patch. You're not craving nicotine. And then it's still tough. Like I still was craving smoking something, but at least that I was able to do. And then you gradually use smaller patches. So they start you with like 21 milligrams a day and then 14 and then 7.
So this is with a doctor's prescription, or you did it yourself over the counter?
No, you can do it. I just did it over the counter.
And then how long, like, what was your duration for the quitting part, and what was your duration for getting hooked in the early days?
Duration for what in the early days?
Like how long did it take for you to get hooked? Yeah,
I think it took me like a year to get like maximally hooked. Like consuming more nicotine, like to hit peak nicotine consumption took like a year and a half. And then I had to quit very slowly. Like, so I, like, in theory, the way they, like, if you go to CVS, they'll say like the 21 milligram, you're supposed to be on that for like 2 weeks and then the next one for 2 weeks. I had to do each one for like 2 months. I just wasn't ready after 2 weeks to like step it down.
I see. And then which e-cigarette vendor, which system were you hooked on? Or was it
Mostly
interchangeable?
Juul. Mostly I mean, they're interchangeable, but mostly Juul.
Did you stick with one brand?
Yeah, but not out of a sense of loyalty. More like if I lost the Juul, I would occasionally buy the disposable ones. It's more just that it makes sense to have one because then you're buying cartridges for the same thing every time.
Yeah, yeah.
The Juul,
I think
the Juul gives me anxiety. Yeah, they get fucking anxiety.
Well, high doses of nicotine gives you anxiety. Like, I don't think it's anything unique to the Juul. If you're consuming a lot of nicotine, it induces anxiety.
Something about the Juul then's giving me anxiety.
Oh, you think the Juul specifically?
I have this one, and I'm fine with it. Whenever I have the Juul, a couple of days in, I just feel really anxious.
Huh. Because they're mostly giving you the same thing. It's just a nicotine salt. I wonder if maybe it's a dosage thing. Like maybe you're just smoking a lot more. Like that's the thing. It's so easy for cigarette smokers. If you have to step outside to smoke a cigarette, you're probably smoking, a few a day. With a Juul, it's so easy to be smoking all day.
All fucking day.
It's so and so you end up going through the equivalent of 20 or even 40 cigarettes a day, which is crazy. The amount of nicotine you're consuming is just insane. It'd be hard to do it with cigarettes.
I started smoking when I was younger, obviously, but I quit before I was like, I think I was like 22, in that range. And I tried the patch and it worked fantastic with the process that you talked about, Ari. But then it was like a 3-month mark and I was off of it and I just found myself in social situations and then I succumbed to the pressure. And then a few other times I quit cold turkey and then it happened again. 2 or 3 months in, succumbed to the pressure in a social environment, and I was just like, "Fuck this!" And then that was kind of the end of it. And it's been quite a while now, like 11 years or whatever. But
it's tough. It's I mean, and that's only nicotine. Like I've never been addicted to anything else or anything harder. But it's hard for me to even imagine. It's like if I had trouble quitting cigarettes, and not even cigarettes, e-cigs. How hard must it be for people addicted to like opioids? I almost can't even imagine. I think before the nicotine thing, I was less sympathetic. And now it's like, man, I know how hard it was for me to quit nicotine. I have a little bit of an understanding of how hard it must be for people with more serious addictions.
I had a best friend of mine from high school that was addicted to opioids, and man, like it was just crazy. Like, you get off it on, like, it's just, like you said, right? It's like 10x more. I don't even know. You can't even compare it in, that type of.
Yeah.
I think one of the craziest things about that whole trend with e-cigs is I went to go visit my sister at college. This was last year,
everyone.
and every single kid, like me and my brother were at a bar, we're sitting down, we're waiting to meet my sister later, and at every single table, not only was there a Juul, but everyone had their own Juul. So like 4 kids would be sitting around a table, all 4 of them had it. Like it was, we were cracking up because I had never seen so many people holding one thing. You would see it more than like cell phones. They were holding their Juul instead of their iPhone at the table. I mean, it was the rates are ridiculously high.
Feels like this is going to be a tight game tonight.
I'll spice it up for you then, Pete.
I'll try to help spice it up too.
Okay, I'll call you.
Great. That means Luke's gonna raise it up.
I thought he was coming along. That's the other reason I did that.
Nice.
Monster.
How does Luke always end up good there when it goes to showdown?
We didn't show that down. He folded.
Yeah, we didn't show it down. I had an up and down.
I think I've had at least 2 losing weeks in a row, maybe 3. Showdowns lately have not been so hot.
Bobby, were you straight bluffing that hand against me?
I had something. Probably
Oh.
not good enough.
A little something, something.
What, did you have the 9? I was
Yeah.
worried.
I did have the 9 that time.
I should have just checked and called.
I was gonna dump it in the end because I think I had 800 left. It's like 500.
So, question for you all: this bull run, is DeFi and yield farming going to be what ICOs were last time? Meaning, like a common theme throughout the entire bull run, a major, like I would almost say the 2017 bull run, if you had to define it, it'd be defined by ICOs.
Yeah.
Is this time, is DeFi and yield farming, so far it's kind of led the bull run, but is that going to be, are we going to transition to some other theme, or is that,
Bitcoin.
Good raise, Bobby.
Corporate
Do you have
treasuries.
anything, Chris?
We'll see. So far, Bitcoin's never been. There's basically in bear markets, Bitcoin dominance spikes every time, and in bull runs, Bitcoin dominance always falls every single time. And I like my guess is that pattern probably continues. Bitcoin, yeah. So my guess is Bitcoin probably doesn't lead this bull run either. It's never led a bull run.
Yeah, I think
And yet Bitcoin ends up mostly outperforming over, because in the bear cycles it falls 80%, everything else falls
99.
95 or 99. Right.
Yeah, Ari, I agree with you. The reason Bitcoin is still the better investment, even in the bull run, is because Bitcoin is a sure one. Whereas for all the altcoins and the other ones, you literally have to pick and choose from 10 or 20. And some of them will vastly outperform Bitcoin, but it's really like a horse race.
Yeah, I don't necessarily
Ari,
disagree with that framing. Although, if you're totally confident it's a bull run, basically every bull run, like I want to be careful not to assume the future will look like the past, but basically every bull run, a randomly selected broad basket of alts outperforms Bitcoin, and then the difference gets made up in the bear market. But if you can time the bull run, you would, so far at least, you would have made money by being in alts, and then actually you kind of would. Okay, so from a trading perspective, you'd never want to own Bitcoin, because in the bull markets you don't alts, in the bear markets you don't cash. At some point that may change. That's been true in the past tense. That may not be true in the next bull run.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, I just own and hodl Bitcoin. I don't worry about it.
Sure.
Because so it's more of like a passive strategy that's, in my opinion,
that makes sense.
is much more geared for success.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If you're not confident
Yeah.
in your ability to time the bull and bear cycles, that makes a lot of sense.
So Ari, I was gonna say, as it relates to is DeFi kind of what's gonna be pushing it. What's interesting about it is, and I was telling Luke about this earlier, the way that tokens are launching and the valuations and the excitement that comes in the participation now with, this fair launch, liquidity mine into existence. Call it, of course, is DeFi, but call it whatever you want. That strategy, I think, is going to be the strategy that really accelerates altcoin valuations. Like, we saw it very clearly in the last week or so, or in the last 2 weeks, but, in general, that's what I think is really going to push it forward, and people are going to be looking at it as an opportunity, once again, just like ICOs, to make a quick buck. And that's unfortunate, but it's what's most likely going to drive that level of excitement, I think. And I think we're going to see some of these layer one chains as well, like Tron's starting to do it, and like a lot of these chains are going to try and replicate some of that stuff, and they're going to be successful. And they need to, right? Because that's where all the mind share is. And I think with that, that's just gonna, if you think about 2017, really they only could launch on Ethereum, right? Where now there could be a way of, and there's a lot of capital and treasuries, and there's a lot of vested interest in those layer ones driving that level of activity on their chain. So I would assume that in itself will act as a multiplier effect if this type of token launch and just overall, DeFi narrative holds strong.
One thing I hope happens is there could be a lot of other bull market drivers like crypto gaming, crypto NFTs and collectibles that would really expand. Like the problem with DeFi is it's a crypto insider game of a very small number of people trading, moving huge sums of money around. Something like crypto collectibles. So like Dapper Labs launched their chain with their NBA collectible game. And when it was in closed beta, they had more than $1 million of sales of NBA crypto collectibles. That was during closed beta. So that could be, I would hope that would be a better thing for a bull market to be based on things like actually expanding to another 10 million crypto users or 100 million crypto users.
Yeah, I just think that's unrealistic for this time around. It's moving so fast. It's just nuts.
It's
like look what even
ridiculous.
happened with Yam.
Fucking.
It's just it's so ridiculous.
It's crazy. $500 million staked through
In
Yam.
24
$500 million.
So what happens to the? I didn't follow the downfall of Yams. I followed it as it was at its meme peak, and
So
I
that
fell asleep.
$500 million is fine. The $500 million's fine. The only money lost, I believe, was what was it?
Like 60 million. Or something?
750,000.
Yeah, 750,000.
Oh, really?
It was like what was it? Yield LP tokens
Okay.
Yeah, it was like LP tokens in the curve pool. I
in the
think.
curve pool.
Yeah.
So the Yam token basically became worthless, and the curve LP tokens got stuck. But all the other assets staked were fine.
Okay.
And it was funny, they coordinated, they needed 150,000 votes within 24 hours to fix something, but then it turned out they got those votes, but they actually needed to be, 12 hours in advance of the rebase, something like that, and they only had 4 hours.
That's like when I fell asleep. I didn't see how it turned out.
Yeah.
Didn't turn out pretty. Let's just leave it.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Charlie?
What's up, Charlie?
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome.
What are we doing tonight?
We were just
Pardon?
talking Yam.
We're
Yeah.
farming.
Okay, we're talking Yam.
$500 million staked with the protocol 48 hours after its launch.
Yeah, I heard it failed spectacularly as expected.
It did, but only lost 750 grand. It's
Yeah.
not really, I don't think you can point to it as a, let me this way, people who've been doing similar things are certainly way up over the last month in DeFi. Whether that's sustainable or not, separate, but there has not been a comeuppance yet for yield farmers. Yield farmers have made a lot of money in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
who's losing money? Like who's?
It's a good question. Kind of no one in the sense that, and you can argue it's just paper gains. Basically what's happened is these projects create new tokens out of thin air and they don't sell them. They give them away. They're traded on a liquid market and they're being valued by the marketplace. So tokens like Yams now are worthless, but that token was never worth very much. But things like the comp token of Compound Finance, valued by the market to tens of millions of dollars. So on paper, people are making money because look, it's a little bit like this. If Bitcoin goes up and we're all richer, who lost money? Well, no one, right? If we're all long Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes up, we're all just richer. The question is that real or is it paper? Can we actually sell and realize those profits? Or is it like end of 2017 where the minute people start selling, the price just collapses? So that's kind of the debate are these high token valuations sustainable and real? Do they reflect value creation or is it just paper gains?
Well, couldn't you say it's being paid? It's being subsidized by, like comp's a good example. They're paying people in comp tokens. So it's whoever like financed comp. But I guess they're not really paying for it. You're right, because they're making money too. Like if comp's valuation goes up.
There's mark-to-market gains, and not just mark-to-market. It is a somewhat liquid token. So in the beginning, the VCs were subsidizing it because it was inflationary, right? So you have a token, let's say worth 10 million, and comp just gives away. They inflate the token by 20%. You could say the existing VCs and owners are hurt. But then if the token itself quadruples in value,
Then
everyone wins.
Yeah, that's correct.
Everyone wins.
Yeah.
There's no loser. It's just the question is that elevated token value sustainable?
Because people have to exit eventually. Bitcoin's different because people hold it because they think it's a currency they can use as a currency. None of this stuff people think.
Well, not yet.
Well,
No one holds Bitcoin as a currency today. No, I mean,
I do.
No,
I
you
use it.
spend your
too.
Bitcoin?
I spend
No.
Really?
So,
Come
so
on,
I agree
guys.
with Peter. Let me mention this about currency. So, to you guys, like I know this is not a popular viewpoint, but money and currency, I think people have the wrong understanding of money and currency. Like they think that money is only money if I can go to a store and use it to buy goods and services. But in my opinion, money is actually the accumulation result of my hard work, of my labor, of my earnings. That's money, right? Whether it's immediately spendable or not is not the question. It should be something that's valuable. So in my definition, Bitcoin definitely is money, even though I can't spend it at the convenience store or at the department store or at the supermarket.
For me, I don't think you have to spend it for it to be money, but the fact that it's not a unit of account at all. So Peter, if you spend your Bitcoin to buy a computer, that computer is not priced in Bitcoin. It's priced in dollars and then converted into Bitcoin.
I'm saying I use Bitcoin and I hold it, right? These other things aren't going to get used.
Well, they might. I mean, that's what people are speculating on.
They're being
Yeah,
used.
look, people say the same, right? A lot of the naysayers about Bitcoin say the same about Bitcoin, right? That Norio Rubini says, come on, guys, Bitcoin's never going to be used by more than a few dozen people like Peter. And we're betting he's wrong. We're betting he's wrong. But it's certainly today,
Mike,
hardly anyone uses Bitcoin as
trying to sniff
money.
me in here. You're trying to sniff me in. Have you got like a... I'm just going to give 100 away here, aren't I? Interesting. Did not expect you to have that at all.
I just know you're like staring into my little tile on the Zoom call like so intensely. When
No, I'm looking over here at the table. I'm looking at the table. I was just like, what have you got here? That bet. That was a very un-Mike bet.
So what's the latest with Rubini? Who's kept in touch with him?
Who cares?
Oh, he blocked me long ago.
Yeah, me too.
He was on Pomp's podcast a few weeks ago, I think, and they had a pretty
Was he?
interesting debate about gold and Bitcoin. Yeah. Oh no, that was Schiff. That wasn't him. My bad. My bad.
Rubini was like a hero of mine in 2008. I read a bunch of books that he wrote. He was kind of my guiding light in the 2008 financial crisis. It was very sad to.
What did he say that was guiding and awesome?
So he did a really deep and thorough analysis of basically why we were about to have the 2008 financial crisis. And to be fair, his timing wasn't great. He had been kind of warning about it a couple years earlier.
Did he say it after the fact, or he said it?
No,
right
before.
Okay, all right.
And it wasn't just we're going to have a crisis. It was a detailed analysis of bank balance sheets. He said, for example, that the banks are lying about their exposure to real estate, that they're using these off-balance sheet accounting tricks to hide literally hundreds of billions of dollars of debt. And I read that. I at the time I was like studying to be a CFA, not CPA, but CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst, where there's some accounting. And I was like, holy crap, I think I see what he's talking about. And it's not in the bank. It's like it's literally an asterisk in a footnote that these banks were using to hide hundreds of billions of dollars in debt. So it wasn't just predicting the market would go down. He did a really detailed analysis of why. He wrote a great book called Bailouts and Bail-ins that was on emerging market crises. It was a little bit more academic. So I was a big fan of his. It was sad seeing him kind of just be stupid.
Yeah, what's sad is he doesn't see. It's not even crypto. Like, let's say crypto, just put it aside. What's sad is he doesn't see the issue with the oversupply and the continued printing of money. Like the Fed's balance sheet, bloated balance sheet, and all that. To me, it's like, how could you not see that? It's like a historical anomaly, not for the good.
At this point, I just don't know how serious he is. After the 2008 financial crisis, he became a bit of a celebrity, and he's known as a partier, right? He's this economist who loved having celebrities in his hot tub, and was like, what was
Oh,
always
really?
seen. Yeah,
What?
I bet like the
That's
story.
so
And
absurd.
I don't know him personally, but like, look, a lot of people are brilliant hard workers, and then they hit some level of success in life where they kind of just start having a good time. I don't know how serious he is as an economist today. You know, he was a very legitimate, serious economist 20 years ago. I think he's kind of checked out.
That's too bad.
At some point, people become characters of themselves, right? They get a little too famous and they start being more, right? Their business starts being the character rather than
Yeah,
doing
I
the
see.
work, right? So, like, he was a very legitimate economist. Now he's Nouriel Rubini, the personality.
I think that's why
Good
people.
analysis.
I think that's why
Good
people like
analysis.
Peter Schiff will just never even kind of consider Bitcoin, even if it's like his view of the world supports it. It's just like he is Peter Schiff, the guy who loves gold and hates Bitcoin.
He'll
Mike,
do
do you have
Bitcoin
a
if he's
straight flush
got
there in your hands?
if he starts selling it through his website. If he finds a way to monetize it, he'll be the golden Bitcoin guy overnight.
I don't know. It's just it's like the character. He's like assumed the role and he's not going to switch.
Maybe.
Hey, Mike, I see your straight flush. Trying to pretend I make the straight flush.
It's a tricky hand here.
Peter, what the fuck? You have a jack of diamonds? Just that would be sad. Two pair.
Two straight flush draws on the table.
Yep.
8 jack. 10 jack? Why'd you make it so big? 830. Peter, would you be mad if I looked you up with one pair?
I'd be happy.
You have a pair.
You have a pair.
You have
I
a
have
pair.
I have a 10.
Huh?
I have a 10, and I
10 and a what?
where's a queen. Whoever Yes, jack, queen, jack of diamonds. No. You didn't have a bluff.
Gotta pay to see.
Oh bad.
I know you didn't have a straight. That's important.
Did you guys watch Davey Day Trader talk to the Winklevoss twins today?
Oh yeah.
No.
Only that first clip where it was like the 10-second long one where they both said, "Hi, Mike," at the same time, raising their hands.
Ari, I was laughing so hard when that happened. When I saw that clip, man.
That was
Holy
hilarious. Yeah.
I loved it. It was, it was an interest. I watched it about an hour and a half or 2 hours ago now. I think there was some confusing information there. But I felt overall they did a good job explaining it and explaining, the fact that you don't need to know about a blockchain and how it works and how it's mined and all this stuff and so forth. But
Is it me or him who's fucked there?
pardon?
Who? Chris
It's
is
Chris.
Yeah.
Chris's sound was fine. It wasn't me.
Yeah, it was Chris. Chris, your audio was just a little scratchy.
How was it now?
Little
Okay?
robot on us.
Charlie, would you put me on there?
Just a queen.
This is interesting. BitMEX just announced they're gonna do KYC starting at the end of August.
BitMax or BitMEX?
BitMEX
BitMEX?
for all accounts.
They've been doing KYC for a while, or like small retail accounts.
I think,
that
yeah.
They had to
Yeah, they
collect.
have to do
For
it.
100% of
They have to
accounts
do it
now.
to get on the regulated. They want to get big and famous. They have to go the KYC regulation route. And then what's going to happen is another exchange will come out with no KYC, and then it's going to, get the king of the hill status, and it's all a rotation.
Well, all the largest derivatives exchanges don't have KYC for individual retail accounts. They do for their largest clients, but I wonder who's going to pop to the top then. I bet BitMEX. Ari, do you think BitMEX volumes will take a big hit from that?
No idea. I don't know
may
what
not
their
take a
makeup
big
of
hit.
customers look like.
But the percentage will go down over time, I think. I think there'll be challengers and stuff like that.
Yeah, the derivatives markets, it's very early for that market, but that market's poised to explode.
One thing that's exciting is options. Volumes have been growing a lot. Matrixport is launching their was it Bit.com competitor to Deribit. Right now, Deribit's kind of the only show in town for options. But CME Bitcoin options are growing. Bit.com will hopefully add some volume.
So where can I all right, I want to sell covered calls for BTC. Where do you recommend I do that as a US citizen in America?
So most of that is going to get cleared through Deribit, but you get quotes from different market makers, and there's a bunch of them, and everyone uses Paradigm. Paradigm is a software interface. It's like a chat interface that then settles trades onto Deribit or other places, depending on what you want. One thing I'd say, though, Bobby, is we should chat because I'm interested in buying lots and lots, like pretty big dollar amounts of upside premium. And that's not a bet on even where Bitcoin's going to go. It's partly just makes my job a lot easier as a portfolio manager.
What does that explain that? So you're saying you want to buy my covered calls?
Yeah. I've actually reached out to some Bitcoin core devs and early whales, and what we would do is we could clear it through an exchange like Deribit, or we could set up something else. But basically, I would give you a better price than a market maker because I'm basically like if you sell to a market maker and I buy from a market maker, the market maker collects a 5 vol point spread, right? So it's kind of like why not cut out the middleman? So explain to me how much you would give me some examples of what you're willing to pay, and because I'm just astonished people would pay those premiums. It's like, that's why I want to sell the premium. So
portfolio manager,
so very roughly,
that.
So okay, well, so I haven't looked in the last day, but basically like the furthest dated options out along the curve are March, and the March I think is something like 72 implied volatility.
Okay, what does that mean? I don't know the terminology. 72
gotcha.
implied means.
So what that means is a 1 standard deviation move in Bitcoin.
Okay.
Is kind of what that implied volatility is. So that's implying that a 68% chance that we're going to be positive or negative 72% from where Bitcoin is today.
Percent. Oh, that's huge. Okay,
Percent.
Got it.
Now that might sound kind of crazy. It's not. So historically, Bitcoin, that's been pretty close to Bitcoin's average annualized.
Understand.
The number also, what I just said is a simplification that assumes a normal distribution. Bitcoin obviously is kind of more of a log normal. So it's a bit of a, like obviously like Bitcoin, for example, you can have implied vol over 100%. Obviously, Bitcoin can't fall more than 100%, but the math actually still works out because it's a log, it's not a normal distribution. So the reason I'm generally interested in buying upside calls is if you think about the role of a hedge fund manager, it's really, really tough to deal with parabolic advances. Because basically, if I use any kind of risk management, any kind of hedging, any kind of diversification, I'm probably going to underperform Bitcoin in a parabolic move. So by having some upside calls,
unless you have the underlying. You're saying you don't have the underlying.
Well, no. But even if I'm less than 100% long, and Bitcoin rises parabolically, it's going to be very hard for me to keep up, right? So generally, a hedge fund manager.
You're saying your fund you trying to track Bitcoin without having 100% of the underlying. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, so really roughly, as a trader, you're generally trying to outperform buy and hold by active trading, right? You're trying to sell highs, buy lows over and over and over, right? And you're hoping that if the asset just goes up, that there's enough movement that you're able to still beat it, right? So if Bitcoin's up 10% in a year, I might be able to beat that averaging zero exposure because I'm doing a lot of buying and selling, right? But if Bitcoin's up 1,000% in a year, it's just really hard to trade enough to capture that, right? So the scenario that's hardest for me as a portfolio manager is a scenario where Bitcoin's up 10x in a year because I don't want to underperform Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's down, I beat Bitcoin easily, right? If Bitcoin falls 50%, it's very easy for me to lose less than 50%. But if Bitcoin's up 1,000%, it's really tough for me to keep up because any trading you do, it's really hard to match just sitting and holding and earning 1,000%. So by buying these calls, I'm able to kind of take care of that scenario and focus on trading day by day. I don't need to worry what if Bitcoin just goes in a straight line up, right? I'm able to focus more on kind of the day-to-day trading. So I'm generally willing to pay fair price for the calls, meaning I don't need to think I'm making money on the calls. If I'm breaking even on the calls, it makes my life easier.
So let's talk about some concrete data, just as examples, right? No commitments. So you said the 74%, I forgot what it was, 74% for 1 standard deviation. So what does it look like for March calls?
Actually, I'll pull up the website right now. Hold on one second.
Yeah, which website should I look at? Is there one I could look at and see option?
Deribit. If you go to deribit.com, deribit.com,
D-E-R-I-B-I-T. DERIBIT.com. Deribit.
ERIBIT. Deribit. They're a big, well-used exchange.
I see it.
That I don't have any personal relationship with, but they seem very professional to me. I can't personally
I don't have
vouch
an
for
account
them,
here. Should I create an account, or can I just see the option change?
No, you can see if you click on if you scroll down and you click. Let's see, where is it? There's a button you can look at it. Click go to live options trading. It's like halfway down the page. You'll be able to see the markets without creating an account. They do require AML KYC, at least for institutional accounts. So it takes.
And this is a U.S.-based company. U.S. regulation.
I think they're offshore, I believe.
Okay, so I see March 21. Let me take a look.
Yeah.
So
the at-the-money calls.
Yeah,
12,000 calls. You can see the premium there is around $2,800.
Where do I see that? How do I read this chart? I see 1,200.
Yeah, so if you look
at call on the left side.
Yep. So the bid and offer. So you see where there's green and red. That's the bid and the offer.
Oh, I see. 28, 27, 28. I see it.
Yeah. So the smaller number is in Bitcoin terms. The bigger number is in dollar terms. That's the market right there. Now, if you're trying to do good, if you're trying to do size, a market maker is going to quote you outside of that spread, right? If you go to them and say, you could just create an account and sell that bid. You could sell 23.9 or 27.69, but there's only 10.6 Bitcoin worth on the bid. So if you wanted to sell $1 million of premium, you wouldn't be able to do it on Deribit. You would probably go to a market maker. They would quote you a lower bid, and then it could clear on Deribit if you wanted it to.
I see. So it's 2,800. So it's about 20% premium. So it's not that high.
Yeah. March. So I mean, the number to the left and the right is the IV, the implied volatility. It's around 68%.
How did I win that?
That's fairly close to kind of Bitcoin's historical.
I thought someone had like an ace 2.
Maybe I'll do September. Yeah, let me look at September options.
I should have betted that.
Yeah, so September right now, you're looking at lower implied vol. You'd be selling more like 59 implied volatility.
Wow, that's really okay. That's not what I expected. I expected much higher premiums.
So right now, generally, implied volatility on Bitcoin is depressed. It's very low because there's a bunch of funds that are structurally selling volatility. Every month they sell calls and puts.
I see.
That's never been true. This is new. This is new over the last 6 to 12 months.
And that's why volatility, the prices are cheaper now.
Yes.
So they're doing what I wanted to do. So
correct. You have competition. And these funds, every month, they just sell volatility no matter what the price is. And so they push vol. So I can tell you, every market maker right now is long volatility. They have more than they want. Retail is long volatility. speculators like us are generally long volatility, but these funds just keep selling so much that they keep the price depressed.
I see. So you said, okay, so the funds are selling volatility, so they're short. And you said who's long? Did you say the traders are? What was the first
So
category
market
you said?
makers, the
Yeah,
market makers
Why
are
they
long.
long? Explain to me. That's
So they're long
that's
partly
weird.
by accident. It's two reasons. One, those funds that sell, it's not all funds. It's specific funds that are literally people create funds that are yield enhancement funds. I won't.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't know if it's appropriate for me to name them on this, but like there's one that's New York based that has a couple $100 million, and what they advertise to their investors is we own Bitcoin, and we get you extra yield on top by selling calls. And so every month they sell calls, and they sell calls to market makers, and the market makers buy those calls, and they try to then sell them back out to the market, but they usually end up they've been left holding a lot. That's what they tell me. And you can see it in the pricing. You can see it in how low the vol is. So it's those structural sellers that are selling. Miners sell as well, right? If miners will sometimes sell the upside calls.
Nice.
Yeah, miners sell the calls. Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes miners buy puts, but for what I've heard, more recently they've been selling calls. And then retail usually likes buying volatility. They buy calls and puts because they want leverage.
But the retail, does retail today have access to these options, or is this a pretty new instrument?
Yeah,
because
no,
retail
retail's on
historically
Deribit.
been using futures, right? That was the first game in town.
They use futures a lot more, but yeah, there's retail on Deribit. But so what's been happening though, as you can see in the pricing, like Bitcoin has been, so over the summer, a few months ago, there was $1 billion of open interest on Deribit, and you had a lot of retail buying Bitcoin calls, and they got screwed. They lost because Bitcoin just kind of sat there.
Yeah.
So now retail, they got burned. Anyone who was buying options over the summer got burned. They lost money on the options.
Yep.
So there's a little bit less of a bid now. And actually now the implied vol has been coming in below the realized vol.
Exactly.
Right? So,
yeah.
And that's unusual. Usually options trade at a premium. Usually options are like insurance.
Yeah. And it's because of these
sellers, structural fund sellers.
Fund sellers, yeah.
And they've generally been selling the 1, 2, 3 month out vol.
Yeah.
Which you can kind of see looking at the vol surface. The short-term vol is trading under the deck in the December and the March vol.
Yeah, you're saying that this is a better platform than LedgerX, because LedgerX does something similar, right?
Very similar. I'm not trying to like push a particular platform here, but what I can tell you is most of the volume's on Deribit.
Like a very, very large percent. Like I'd probably argue 70+%.
That sounds roughly right, at least. Yeah, or directionally right, if nothing else.
So have you guys all tried Deribit? Who's tried Deribit? Who has an account? Who's traded there?
I have an account. I've been researching into it. I've kind of been playing around with it, but I haven't put any serious positions in.
Do they? So, all right. Do they require collateral for selling calls?
Certainly.
Is it 1-to-1, or can it be naked calls? And
I definitely don't think it's 1-to-1, but then you're risking getting margin called, right? So the danger is, right, you could have a small, quick overnight movement in Bitcoin, and then you get liquidated, where your calls get taken, get liquidated. I'm not sure exactly how their margining structure works, but definitely not 1-to-1. They also do portfolio margining, where you can get like offsets if you've got short calls here, long futures, short puts there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the September 25th, and at the money, it's yielding around between 8% and 12%. So that seems low to me. That's where you're saying the volatility is compressed.
Yeah, it's pretty low. It's pretty low.
Just for reference, because I was looking into this 2 weeks ago, Tesla, I think, had a 20% premium on buying I
Yeah,
think
Tesla stock is high volatility.
buying the call. Just
Yeah.
to put in perspective with this, the other market.
I mean, the way option traders usually look at this is one, that yield relative to the recent movements, right? Like what is Bitcoin realizing as volatility day to day, week to week, month to month? And then they look at the shape of the curve for something weird. So if short-term vol is 40 and longer-term vol is 90, that's kind of a weird relationship that's probably might not be sustainable. So it's kind of those two things. It's implied versus realized, and then the shape of the curve. So the things to note right now is the implied short-term is coming in below realized, which I think is because of these structural sellers. But if you were arguing it's an efficient market, then what the market's telling us, Bitcoin's about to stop moving. That would be the other interpret. Which look, I mean, Bitcoin has periods where it's pretty flat for 3 months, and then the curve is upward sloping. So the market is suggesting that Bitcoin will get more volatile over time. Over time, meaning over the next year. It's going to be more volatile into March than it is over the next 2 months. Or again, it could just be structural. It could just be there's a lot of vol sellers short term and there aren't as many longer term. I would say it's the first options market I've ever. I was my first job out of college was as an options market maker for a big firm that does that. This is the first market I've ever seen where volatility is systematically below realized. That's a very unusual thing. People usually pay a premium for insurance.
Yeah. So I changed my mind. I'm not going to sell any options.
No worries. The March are a lot more reasonable in that, that closer to 70 is pretty close to Bitcoin's historical average.
Yeah, but for March, I'd sell way out of money, and then that still gets me nothing. So.
Luke's gonna look me up. Here we go.
There it is.
Is it my facial expression,
60,
or is it? I just have a tendency to do that.
He read me for a bluff. He's got me.
60.4. He's bluffing.
I'm clearly bluffing.
Oh my gosh.
Action.
It's not exactly a flop. That.
All right, 200?
200.
The hell is that? Oh man, I gotta think about it.
Luke called me with something like an 8-9, and I want to put him to the test. Is he going to call a pot-sized bet with one pair? And if not, I want him to regret calling me pre-flop.
Well, range versus range, this flop is really nice for me. I'm not sure you have any 7-9s or 3s.
You guys are talking like I'm not in this pot.
Just because you're about to not be.
I wouldn't say what I have.
Oh baby!
Oh,
I think you trapped me. I think I have to call here.
Ari, I know what Ari's got.
It's only 500.
He said it's only 500.
I mean, it's so obvious. But you're good, Charlie.
You'll have
Can I get away from this? I can't get away.
Left.
I can't get away.
I knew you had no pet.
Oh!
Oh,
Brutal.
I had a lot of outs though.
You did. You had a lot of outs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it gives the ace just to be mean. Could have given the spade.
Yeah, I couldn't get the flush. I had to get the
Or the straight.
Yeah. Actually, you were close to 50-50. You were not much of a dog there.
44, 45. 9 spades and then.
So he had the ace and wait, did he have a straight draw on the flop? Oh no. He picked up the straight draw on the turn.
So
Never mind. I
aces
thought
and
I thought he had a gut shot on the flop.
So about
Yeah, not quite as good.
14 is
I think I'm gonna rebuy back up to 1,000.
I think it's close to like 50-50 on the
Yeah.
flop, turn, and turn.
It is, Charlie. It's
No.
48, I
Yeah.
think.
'Cause
It's 48.
Oh, so is it 48?
48.
Why
had nine
flush and
outs
one
on
over
the-
card?
So yeah,
No,
I
flush
had-
and one over card is not.
So
I had 12 outs on the flop.
yeah, 12,
and
12
then,
outs.
15 outs on the turn.
Well,
Is 12
you
outs
can only
48?
calculate it once the flop's already out there. You're calculating it based on what the turn and river are going to be. So it'd be 12 outs, and then you multiply that by 4, gives you a pretty rough number. So you're like 48%. Ari was like a 52% favorite.
Is he 48?
Yeah.
Okay.
Roughly, it's closer to like 47. It's kind of hard to do.
I would have guessed 44. So we're not. I wasn't like debating that it was far off.
But that's a good pot bet because
Is
7-9
that how you would do the math? You would take the number of outs and multiply it by 4?
for the turn.
Something
Yeah.
like that. It's close to that.
For the turn, yeah, it gives you a pretty accurate number, and then the river is always number of outs times 2. That gives you within like
it's
1 or 2%.
estimate outs times 4 and outs times 2, so it's good enough.
But that data point, right, Charlie? Data point.
Yeah, I mean the math. Your math doesn't have to be perfect because you have to be able to read your opponent, and there's other stuff involved, right? So the math, outs times 4 and outs times 2 is good enough, like for the most part.
Unless you get the math really wrong, like I do sometimes.
So, serious question: is anyone a farmer here? Does
I have not
anyone
farmed.
actually farm?
I have not farmed a single thing.
Anybody else?
I have dabbled, but I'll say most of my plays have been bets on the tokens rather than farming, because to me, the farming is horribly asymmetric negative risk in the sense that you're risking everything you're staking in ways that almost no one on the planet can evaluate. Like the series of transactions that go through a lot of these AMMs, you're talking about taking smart contract risk across 5 different protocols, all sorts of game theory risk that's very hard to underwrite. And you're not really getting asymmetric upside. Whereas if you buy the token of one of these pools, you're potentially hoping for a 4x and you know you can lose everything. So it's very different. Like to me, it's insane that people put $500 million into YAMs. It was actually more rational to just speculate on the YAM token.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And you would have lost money
Yeah, man.
if you had done that instead
But
of
that's
putting.
but that's fine. If you had speculated that way on every yield farming token, you'd be up 40x this year. You would have beaten Bitcoin over the last 5 years, and then you would have lost a tiny bit on the YAMs. But
I don't even think the people that bet on yams lost that much. I think the rebase that happened when price dropped that drastically was like 10x or like 9x. Like they got a ridiculous amount of tokens before the price dropped. Like it was a pretty efficient drop in that sense. The way price, obviously before the bug. People didn't get burned that bad. Doesn't seem like.
no, this
They
was
got-
not a comeuppance for.
They definitely got away with it. I mean, you put like $500 million into an unaudited smart contract.
Yeah, could have been worse.
Get out without.
Yeah, but to be fair, they pretty much took battle-tested smart contracts and mixed them all together, and that's what fucked everything up, right? Like,
That's even
it was a
worse, right?
composite
You can't take other contracts and put them together and expect there's no like loopholes and stuff. That's the problem with smart contracts, right? It's just when they're working with each other, there's just a lot of edge cases that you can't possibly know.
I was trying to value bet this. I was pretty sure I had the
But
best
Charlie,
hand here.
Charlie, the memes were so good. I mean, the memes were good. That's what matters here.
Yeah.
Means help.
Phenomenal.
Is there any way you do this on a bluff? I don't think so. I have to give it to you. I flopped 2 pair.
Nice bluff, Chris. Nice bluff.
That was a great bluff if it was a bluff.
Great
Yeah.
fold, Ari.
No, but it
Great
was I had 4
was a
queen.
good
I mean,
fold.
come on. That was not that hard of a fold.
I think the table is playing well tonight.
Well, I don't know. Like I meant to double it, and it's fucking so dark here. I can barely.
If you double it, I probably call just.
Just
I
to
probably
see.
call.
Yeah, of course. that was my intention originally, and then I'm like, shit, is my timer gonna run out? And then I'm
Yeah.
Hey, Ari, you topped up, right? Your chips.
I did, and I posted that.
You should.
He posted
Is it
it.
in
I
the group?
posted
Is
it.
it in the group
No,
chat?
I put it in the Telegram chat.
Yeah, also put it. I think Chris wants you to put it in the Zoom
Okay.
chat as well.
I will put it in the Zoom chat. I'm always very conscientious about it, but I was in the Telegram chat, not the Zoom. Okay.
Okay, oh cool.
Hmm.
Oh.
So Peter, have you still been winning a lot, or have you come back down to earth?
No, I'm kind of winning something every week, most weeks, I think. I've
you
been so
haven't
lucky.
lost. You haven't lost.
There was that week where I
Literally
lost
haven't lost.
400. I lost 400 that week. I've just been so lucky, Charlie,
That was
every
like
week.
2 months ago.
400 is a big loss for you. That's pretty good.
It's all luck, though.
Last week, Charlie Mike McDonald won 1.3 Bitcoin.
That's amazing. That's gonna be $1.3 million.
That is pretty amazing.
$1.3 million.
I won't disclaim what I lost. We'll just try and forget about that and win some tonight.
Yeah, I don't
It was
want
half a
to.
bit.
I don't want to talk about it either.
Was he lucky or good? I mean, I guess he's good, but did he also
it was
not
both.
get
It was
something?
definitely
It's
both.
always both.
Definitely both. He had two. He had one where he went all in QQ against two people. Someone hit overpair, and he hit 4 cards for a flush. Like the diamonds came out, and he had a queen of diamonds, and that was like 6,000 chips in that hand or something. 5,000. There was another one like that.
Running good
Yeah, I had
always
trip
helps.
sevens. And he had like top pair, top kicker or something, and he caught like a boat on the end or something stupid.
Brother to brother.
Mm-hmm.
I love to hear the rest of that song, Peter.
I just made that up. I don't know. Is that a real song?
No, that's what I was saying.
Do you have a higher pocket than I do?
Peter, you retweeted some band. What the hell was this video? You posted a tweet of it's like a 20 or 30-year-old video of a band playing in some, like a really early on concert. It's a famous band. I'd never listened to them, but the song was great, and I've been listening to them all week. What the hell is it?
About?
You posted it.
What's going on in the video?
Maybe you commented on it. It was like a band, and they were playing 20 or 30 years ago. It was like one of the first times they'd played together. It was in like a record shop. Oh my god.
What'd you
Doesn't
have, buddy?
sound like me. Was that Rage Against the Machine?
Yeah, I think it was.
You had me beat.
Yeah, it was Rage Against the Machine. Did you
Well, I
comment
don't
on
think
that
I-
post?
No. I posted something replying to
Who posted that?
one of the Winklevoss twins. He put Balls on Parade. I posted the Balls on Parade video behind it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't I mean, one of their first ever concerts was in a record shop. I don't know if it's in that video.
Someone posted
That
that
isn't an
video.
early video.
It was attached to your tweet. That's how it showed up my timeline.
Yeah,
But I was digging that.
You don't know Rage Against the Machine,
I just never listened to them. I've heard the name.
man. That first album, Rage Against the Machine, the whole fucking album, it's one of those rare albums where every song is brilliant. It's,
Yeah, I liked it.
yeah, that's cool.
Charlie, I put Bobby on an overpair there too, and I think you had it, and that would make your second fold with an overpair. I think you had like 9s or 10s.
Oh, he said
Charlie?
I had him beat. So
I think he had under
believe
7.
him.
I think Charlie had like 6s or 5s.
I had 10s.
Oh, you did. That's a good fold.
That's a hard
good
fold because
It's a hard fold, yeah.
That's really hard, man.
I thought if he had jacks, queen, kings, or aces, he would like re-raise me pre-flop. So it was actually tough.
But he did. He re-raised me, so I had 6s, and then
Yeah.
he re-raised me. He just doubled it, and he did that earlier with Ace King.
Yeah,
So
I
did-
mean, he could have ace king
I don't think he had ace king.
or 9s.
Well, I did have Ace King on another hand. Does that count?
No. Doesn't count, Bobby.
If you paid me $1, I'll tell you what I had.
I'll let it count. I'll let it count.
You folded the best hand, Charlie. On the flop, but not on the river.
Yeah, I mean, still have to dodge an ace. The worst is like you think for a long time and you make a call and it turns out to be correct, and then you still lose because they got lucky.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, that is the worst.
Like,
let's try that. Let's try that, Charlie.
You have to keep that in mind, right? If you're making a call on the river, then there's no luck involved. It's just whether or not you made the right call.
That's a good point.
So sometimes it's not worth it to make a call on the flop when you're like 60% correct, and then you still lose.
That is a good point.
Because there's an expected value, right?
And there's also the cost, the expected cost of a bad beat.
Yeah.
Mental
I mean,
cost.
you calculate it the same way, right? If you think you're 60% correct, then do you have more than 60% chance of winning the pot, right? Or your expected value needs to be calculated the same way.
We are waiting on Mike McDonald and Crystal Rose.
One of the strangest moves right now in the market is Tron is finally pumping, and I can't tell if it's because Justin Sun's talking about DeFi. I mean, this is like pretty hilarious. Has anyone seen the Uniswap thing they posted? It's a copy and paste of Uniswap, but it says just DeFi. I mean, it's pretty epic. It's actually causing the price to go up.
The type of people that are trading right now and pumping shit, like the narrative makes sense. It's like, oh, Tron always pumps shit. They're making, JST coins out now, and they have their, whatever, that's their DAI, and they're going to integrate it here. It's like, it's the right narrative for let's call them the plebes, right? Did you end up getting involved in Serum at all, or no?
Me?
Yeah.
As an American, I cannot buy Serum, but
buy Serum? What the heck is that?
I would have liked to. I like Solana a lot more. I like Solana. I still think Solana is pretty attractive.
Aggressive all in, Mike.
Mike is aggressive.
Although I'm curious if anyone at the table knows. Like, let's say Serum.
He's not even here, right? Or he's on.
No, he just left the video call.
I will be right back.
Like, Serum and Solana's situation is interesting because right now Serum's implied market cap is absolutely massive, like in the billions, but Solana's market cap is still 100 million. But Serum is a token on the Solana network. It'd be like if one of the ERC20s was worth like 10 times more than Ethereum. Like, can that even happen? Doesn't that pose security risks?
In this market, it could. In this market, it could. Listen, call a spade a spade. Solana's still in beta on their mainnet, right? I mean, they're still, like, they just came out of beta.
I didn't even know that.
I don't know, 2 months ago, right? Like
I
think May or March, one of the two. So it's still super early. There's literally no other tokens on the network. But they obviously been working really closely together, and the developers are obviously have super vested interest in this being successful. But nonetheless, Charlie, just to bring you up to speed because you asked, Serum is a decentralized derivative exchange launched by FTX, and Serum's their token that is part of it, and there's a variety of DeFi implications around staking and earning and all these types of things, and they decided to build it on Solana to address a lot of the concerns in DeFi today with Ethereum's fees and speed and so forth and so on. And they launched an IEO on Friday, I don't know what day is it today. Today's Thursday, Monday, I think it was, Monday or Tuesday, and it went the price in the IEO was 16 cents, and I think it's $2 and $2.15 right now.
Yeah, it's ripping.
Market is crazy.
So a block. Yeah, it's bananas right now.
You guys let me win with 2-7.
Show
Go
it.
to best 10.
Well, you're ahead, dude.
I had a 2-7 of diamonds, to be fair.
Oh, that's not offsuit.
Yeah.
There you go, a little family pot. Come on, punts, let's go.
Where's
Check,
Mario?
Luke folded his small blind. You should have just.
Well, we didn't
called,
say
Luke.
family pot.
No, but like,
No, it's not
isn't,
a family pot.
isn't
You see
Luke
four
freaking
callers
out?
behind you. You call with garbage.
I didn't know everyone was calling, and I'm over here looking at the Tron chart. I'm mesmerized.
Of course, Mike can't let it fly.
Yeah, that's why I didn't call. Look at that.
I can't
Good,
call Mike
you're
when I
smart.
can't
You
see
save
it.
$5.
I need to see
You
his
can have
face.
Mike. Yeah, Mike, why aren't you on video?
He's not even
I
on
want to see
audio.
your face. When
He's
you're
on a
making that
call, but you know.
Like whatever it takes to win.
move.
So did any of you guys play with Yam this week?
With
No.
what?
I didn't.
Yam.
I was not a buyer
Yeah.
of the yams.
Me neither.
I followed it very closely, but I didn't participate.
Yeah, I watched from a distance.
And I said it earlier, like the launch model, how taking that token to market, like their distribution model is pretty awesome. But that's really the only thing about it.
Yeah. I mean, the Ethereum fees are ridiculous. So if you kind of had to pay like whatever, $10, $20 to be involved, right?
Damn, Chris. How you doing?
Spada boom.
Raising it up.
You two can have that one.
That was loud.
It was loud. It was me. Play that so bad.
Fucking won that hand.
I can't believe you called that pre-flop. Fucking garbage.
I wouldn't have called it if you were the only 3-better, but Pete's 45 in the middle helps out. That's still a loose
Shut
call.
up.
It's still a loose call. I can't really justify that. That's pretty loose.
Suit.
I would have won that.
I played that bad, but that eight would have crushed me anyways. You would have called anything there.
Yeah. Well, imagine if like a 7 would have rolled off too, because it's like that's such a bizarre hand for me to have.
Mike, you can't play and have your video off and be muted. That's not the spirit of the game.
He's on
Yeah.
a call. I think you should
Oh, is he?
at least show his
Raising the
head.
pot while hiding.
Yeah.
To
not
his
cool,
credit,
man.
he went all in and lost all
Yeah,
the money at
they-
the same time.
Not cool.
They're breaking serious stories right now, Mari. The stories that they're breaking is just through the roof. So
It is really amazing the pace of this industry that like yams didn't exist 4 days ago that has $500 million in it, a non-trivial amount of all of the crypto assets on the planet, and then dies 40 hours later, and
Yeah.
people are already talking about Yam 2.0 and Yam 3.0 and anti-Yams, and
Goes through a
Do
full
you think
cycle.
do you think those figures are accurate? Already, the $500 million is that
Oh, yeah.
It's
verifiable?
verifiable, yeah.
yeah, it's public. It's visible on the blockchain. Totally visible. The key thing is that that's not, people didn't buy $500 million of yams. They took things like Ether and staked it to get free yams, but it stayed as Ether, right? They didn't trade it, they staked it.
Look at that.
Am I actually the winner there?
Oh,
sevens?
Whoa.
There he is.
Sevens win?
Lame.
Hold on, there's 4, 5,
seven,
6s,
seven.
and 7s?
Fucking
Oh
hell.
my
One bet in
God.
that pot
I
and
thought
you've
I
won
had a
it.
chance.
What the fuck is
I
that
had a
hand?
chance.
One bet at that pot and you've won it.
Luke, you should have played it.
I did play it. I was in there. I had
Also,
6s.
yeah.
That is so wild.
I was
Someone
not.
should have
I
bet.
was pretty checked out of that hand.
Oh
3
my
overcards in a
God.
5-way pot.
Yeah.
I'm pretty checked out there.
Surprised Mike didn't bet it.
He's busy breaking news.
Mm.
I will give credit to the block, as I do think they've raised the bar of crypto journalism.
I agree. Charlie, tell us more about is it BTC Times? You're participating in that, didn't you?
Yeah. So Samsung's actually the one who came up with an idea of doing a media focused on like just Bitcoin. Mostly Bitcoin, but just good stories about Bitcoin, and try to remove all the FUD that's out there. So he suckered me into investing in it.
Huh.
I mean,
Fucker.
investing in media companies is not really the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, man.
Unless you can be editor.
Yeah, I'm not an editor.
But it is
Yeah.
like what's the intended style of the content, like, you know, outside of just removing the FUD from Bitcoin? Like, is there any other differentiators that they're trying to put forward?
Just good content, right? So got some of the like Jameson Love. Let's see who else is part of the team.
Aaron and Van
Yeah, Aaron's awesome, right?
yeah.
He writes like the best Bitcoin articles. Let me see, is it my turn? Yeah. 1 second. Yeah, Elaine O and Giacomo, right? So some good writers, editors.
No,
Luke,
you didn't raise.
you didn't raise it.
I mean, if you're in the small blind
Don't blame
there,
you.
small blind there, and you're calling, you have a lot better queens than me. You have king, queen, queen, jack, queen 10. It's like the shittiest queen I can have, queen 6. I'm happy with 400 there. Ace, queen, you could have. There was there's a new token past yams, the based. Chris, did you see that? What was that about?
Different there, Charlie. I thought you'd missed the
here?
flush.
Based coin?
No.
Or based protocol?
I'm pretty sure you had me beat for calling like that, so I didn't want to put more money
Oh,
into
I
the
didn't.
pot.
I didn't think you had the queen. I thought you were betting the flush. Draw.
Yeah. I don't normally bet a draw like that.
Yeah, you do.
I'm not
That's
gonna.
fine.
Really?
Yeah, but not that heavy. Not to tell you, like,
Pete has it in
you
his
usually
notes.
bet flush.
Let me ask you all a question I've been trying to think about. So end of 2017, a big narrative in crypto was Bitcoin transaction fees becoming prohibitive for small transfers, and that enabled bull runs in a bunch of small competing protocols. So my question is, with Ethereum transaction fees kind of in a similar place, what are the protocols or layer twos or bets that potentially win from that?
First,
So there's some obvious
I don't
ones.
think that narrative makes any sense to me, to be honest.
I think it does.
Well, like
The-
Litecoin was a beneficiary. Darknet started, like arbitragers. Arbitragers started using Litecoin as a way to just transfer value across exchange, cheaper and faster than Bitcoin.
And narrative-wise, that's where people would put money. They said they couldn't send Bitcoin fast enough, so this coin's going to be able to do it. Invest in this. I mean, that happened.
I mean, it's speculation, right? It's not because like people started to use Litecoin more that the value like it became more valuable, right? Because it's everything. It's all speculation. So I think even if Bitcoin fees didn't go high, all these altcoins would have pumped anyways.
Changed my decision here. I was about to, motherfucker.
I think that was his intent.
Ari, right? If Bitcoin didn't pump, then I
Yeah.
can see why that narrative makes sense, right? It's Bitcoin is dying and all these other coins are taking over.
No. It wasn't so much that Bitcoin's dying. Well, I mean, Ripple tried. There were some competitors that tried to pitch that,
Yeah.
but you had other much more practical pitches, which is okay. Maybe Bitcoin's doing well. Oh, you are drawing almost dead. Boom.
Ooh, I got out
Happy
alive
with
there.
that one. Happy with that one.
I would have taken
Nice
you
plan.
out, Sputter.
Nice play.
No, but I'm not saying that it's it. Look, I agree that the idea
Ahead of
that
you.
something's
Had an ace.
dying.
Better kicker than you.
It's like that Yogi Berra line. No one goes there anymore because it's too crowded about a restaurant, right? It's silly, of course. But what is legitimate is it does open up space for competitors for other use cases. Ethereum is really only usable for liquidity mining today and for DeFi, right? If you have $5 plus average transaction fees, it's not usable for games, for example, on layer one. It's not usable for a lot of other things. I mean it in the context of, I mean, I think, so we've seen it, like, I think Solana's benefited from that. Part of an interest in your protocol. You've had layer twos like Matic that have benefited.
Yeah.
I'm just not super clear on how this plays out. But like end of 2017, that was part of the driving story behind, say, XRP, where it was, okay, you can't do small payments on Bitcoin, layer one at least. Lightning is not yet really usable. Again, back in 2017. So cross-border remittances, something like XRP is a viable competitor, at least short term. So with Ethereum right now, you can't do anything with smart contracts on it other than very high value financial transactions. So I'm just curious what I'm not saying that long term, right? I mean, the Ethereum community, the answer would be, well, we're fixing that with ETH 2.0. I'm not debating that. I'm just saying
What's the trade?
In the meantime. Yeah, what's the trade?
I mean, the trade would be
Tron.
buying a competing, Tron, like a competing
could
smart
be.
contract network, right? Where some of the smart contracts will actually move there because the fees are lower.
It could be, so that would be kind of like the Litecoin version in 2017, right? It's like, it's not that there's fundamentally more bandwidth necessarily. It's not used. It's kind of an empty highway. Or it could be something like a layer two, a plasma chain, a side chain that fundamentally is more bandwidth.
Yeah.
Polka dots are at their all-time high.
Polka dot. Honestly, it's fucking market.
Hey, that's one of the more interesting engineering projects. There's some at least non-trivial engineering innovation there.
Yeah.
And I'm not in the weeds on Polkadot, by the way. I can't really speak to it, but it's certainly not just a clone. It's not like late 2017 when you had like all of the totally crappy ETH killers that were just like, you know, most of them were just garbage that had no real innovation. The new layer ones coming out today actually have meaningful tech innovation. Whether they're valuable is a separate question. Solana did a lot of innovating in the kind of communication layer. but no one's got much of an opinion, it sounds like.
And I tend to lean
Alright,
towards
okay.
the layer 2 solutions, just because that was the narrative for Bitcoin, except the layer 2 solutions, I would argue today on Ethereum, are a little ahead of where Lightning was when that narrative was in play. And I just think, I just can't see just the power of the development community of Ethereum, it being replicated and people being driven to truly build on another chain for their business when all that mind share is on Ethereum. So I think they'd rather start building and focusing on how they work on layer 2s. That's my thought.
So what
I'm
layer
still
2s are interesting on Ethereum?
Barely answered that question with the terrible call that I made on you. So you got something out of me.
That was a bad call.
It worked.
Ace with a 9 kicker.
It worked.
It was a bad.
At best, you
I
were
don't
a
know
coin
why I
flip.
thought
At
that.
best, you were
You
a
know
coin
what I
flip.
put you on? You know what I put you on? Yeah, what I put you on was like a straight and flush
The flush
draw.
draw. Yeah, I play
Yeah.
that exactly the same way. I make that exact same play either with a strong made hand or with something like a very strong draw. But so I don't
But just thinking through,
yeah.
with Peter behind you, and but more importantly, I would argue, you bought in a little bit more, to put your whole stack in on that. I don't know if that makes, I'm thinking back on it. I'm doing the fundamentals versus the technicals here, okay? And I thought wrong.
I don't know if I know enough layer 2s. But I would say
I've been a fan of Matic for a while, but this was more like a year ago where I can tell you, and I don't mean I'm not trying to disparage them today at all. I'm just less in the weeds on them. But like a year ago, we were talking to a lot of Ethereum projects, like gaming projects, and saying, "What are you building on?" And every developer said, "Well, Ethereum layer 1 is already congested, or we're afraid it soon will be, so we're building on Matic." And so that led us to look at Matic as an investment. I feel like I'm a little bit behind though on whatever innovation is happening on Ethereum layer 2s today.
Yeah.
Certainly there's less of an incentive, right? The Ethereum community is kind of waiting for
Wow.
ETH 2.0.
Nice quads.
Woo!
Oh boy.
Oh
Nice,
boy.
nice check on it.
Tried to steal that, didn't you, Mike? You didn't have anything there. There's no bet I can get him in there.
Nice
I was
check on
lucky.
turn.
I was lucky you put 350 into it.
4 of a kind.
I was
Man,
kind of hoping Luke had pocket queens there.
I'm just happy when I get 2 pair. This guy's rocking quads.
But I'm lucky, man.
I had 3 of a kind once.
Peter, you had quads?
Of course, yeah.
Peter just showed down quads.
You don't really want quads. You want trips.
Peter's always lucky. That's why he's winning.
I'm
What do you mean
so
you don't
lucky.
want
How many
quads?
weeks in a row have been lucky now, Chris?
What the hell does that
Well,
even mean?
15.
How many lucky weeks now?
14 weeks. You missed 1 week.
Unbelievable.
How many weeks have you played?
Unbelievable.
That many.
14.
Come on, Charlie. You sold Litecoin at the top. You're lucky.
Hindsight is 2020.
No, actually, he didn't sell it at the top. He declared it at the top. He made the whole market peak out on that day.
I crashed the whole market because it was too bubbly.
Yeah, he popped the bubble.
I'll tell you one area that I'm pretty confident is going to be a thing over the next year or two is
Scams.
decentralized fund management. I'm not saying it should be.
Like the
I'm not
DAO?
saying I'm not encouraging people to participate, but it's like you think about the history of crypto. It's been like what's the killer app of crypto? Really, it's been speculation. It's been speculation. So what were the very best bets in crypto 8 years ago? The only thing that rivaled Bitcoin was Coinbase and then exchanges like Bitfinex and BitMEX and Binance and Polo. Then it was ICOs. Then now it's yield farming. The next iteration of that, I think, will be basically decentralized funds. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So like Melonport launched in 2017, but didn't really. I don't mean to disparage anyone, but
The smallest flush ever, Bobby.
It could be smaller.
It'll be interesting. All those people with paid trading groups, it'll be interesting seeing them all with decentralized open finance funds.
Yeah, but they're not incentivized ever to switch and do that. Like that,
it'll be
ruins their
interesting to
business
see,
model.
right? All of these paid group managers. Let's see how good they actually are.
Well, they would assume
there's an actual public track record.
They would assume total risk and also limit their upside. Well, I guess not limit their upside if they're really returning that much.
No. If they're good, the upside's much greater. Right,
Yeah.
as a hedge fund manager, you collecting 2 and 20, right? And think about how quickly they'd grow their AUM base if they're crushing it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But it's
a very small number of groups that would be crushing it, though.
So are you talking like the DAO? The DAO is a decentralized fund, right? Is that something you're talking about?
By the DAO, you mean the ETH DAO from 2016?
Yeah.
Man, I don't even remember what that was originally supposed to be for. It died so fast. They can take the structure of DAOs.
Yeah, it was a decentralized. The money that you put in, you can vote on. You have one vote on what
you're right.
You put the money towards, right?
That was an early attempt, and it's crashing and burning almost instantly. Kind of froze that market for a couple of years. But now we actually have infrastructure. So, I'm not trying to shill anything. It's always tricky. I always want to be transparent with disclosures, but that makes it sound like I'm shilling something. But this, as far as I know, is not currently investable. But like, we invested in a new project called D-Hedge that is a decentralized fund on top of SNX. And you have platforms like Aragon that support DAO launching. Yeah.
Did you just like 5 minutes ago say, I think next thing's going to be decentralized funds, and then declare you've invested in a decentralized fund?
Well, there's only a couple that exist. So yes, but the token's not tradable. I'm not at least I'm not shilling a token that no one watching this can buy it.
You can't buy it.
With that said, eventually it will be. So you can accuse me of shilling something, but it's not tradable at the moment. And we're locked up on it. And it's public that we've invested, by the way. Like the cap table has been publicly covered. I am shilling it, I guess, as a sector, but really my question is, like, I want to bet on that a lot more heavily. Like we have a tiny bet in that sector that's like trivial for us. I think it's going to be a thing, but I don't quite know how to express that bet. So D-Hedge is one way to express it, but and I'm really not encouraging people to put their money into these things because like those paid group leaders, most lose money.
Oh, nice.
Most of these talking heads and luminaries do not actually make money.
I guess I'm confused why like centralized exchanges won't just soak up that market, similar to like FX, CFDs, or like it's massive in that world. Mirror Trader was a program that we used to work with at the first brokerage I worked for, and it's like it seems like decentralized funds are basically like a copy trading system. I don't totally see the need to have it decentralized. Like it seems like if Bybit or if BitMEX or if Binance allowed people to make their profile public and allowed them to make their trades copyable, that you could just copy them there. Like what's the benefit of doing it through a DEX or having it decentralized as a system at all?
I think that's a fair point. But how much of yield farming actually needs to be decentralized right now?
I'm with you.
Right? I mean, how much of that is actually making any use at all of anything decentralized?
Yeah, I see.
But it's a fair point. It's a fair point. I think it's, look, as the way I framed it was not, oh, this is open finance democratizing hedge funds. I framed it as this is speculation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think more and more copy trading is going to have to happen. Of the exchanges that I've worked with and talked to, they all want to, but that's like on their list way past other products they want to launch first. But I mean, it's massive in the FX space. Massive in FX.
Mike, you unmute yourself.
Mike?
Did you re-raise Charlie on that previous hand?
Re-raise what?
He raised the flop. Did you re-raise him?
No, I re-raised pre-flop.
No,
Yeah,
pre-flop.
pre-flop.
Sorry, pre-flop. Yeah.
Yeah,
I folded. I had the 8 jack. I would have flopped the straight.
Really?
Yeah.
That would have hurt.
You have like aces or kings or something.
No, what the fuck do I have? No, I had like ace 10.
Yeah.
One thing that's been sorry, go ahead.
No, fine. That's all I wanted to
Just,
know.
one thing that's been interesting to see is
guys,
a lot
quick
of fairly.
Before I, sorry, all right.
No, go ahead, Chris. I've been talking too much.
My internet's just a little messed up. I was gonna say, my Zoom crashed, so I lost the chat. So if everyone can just put how much they're in for. I know, Mike, you said you're in 2A.
Chris, I still have it.
You bought him.
Chris, I have it.
Yeah, but just put him in now.
I got you.
Yeah, but don't worry. Or take a screenshot.
Just put it back in.
I got a screenshot for you, Chris.
It's already in there, Chris. I think.
No, but he can't see it.
No, not
I
for me. My crashed.
I got you.
Thanks, bro. Sorry, Ari. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No worries. I've been talking a lot. I don't mean to monopolize, but one thing that's interesting is in the last few months, a number of fairly prominent funds have gone under. I think it'll be really fun seeing a lot of paid group leaders have public track records. It'll be it'll be an interesting dynamic. It's everyone's a genius until they actually need to have public trades.
Yeah, I just don't think we'll get there.
I would assume the decentralized funds would vote on the investments, or would there be like leaders of those funds that would technically lead? Like, what would be the structure?
I feel like a group
they could
fund
work
would
differently.
be awful.
You could have them as DAOs where it's a public vote, but the first implementation I think is just vehicles that enable like a paid group leader to very easily accept investment via a kind of a
Smart
DeFi
contract
type system. Smart contract. Yeah, basically just that, which by the way is probably illegal depending on the jurisdiction of everyone, but it'll happen.
Probably legal.
Let's say it's probably not legal.
I'd say definitely.
Yeah, I mean, but like look, I mean, most crypto exchange volume is a regulatory violation. I'm not trying to play police here, just the reality.
Yeah.
Shh, Ari, shut up, man.
Yeah, come on. BitMEX just
You're
said
gonna burst the
KYC.
bubble, Ari.
It's the global secret. It's a crypto secret.
BitMEX just announced KYC because of this. Right here.
Too rich for me, Pete.
You had a good little club there, did you, Spada?
Wait,
I had King 10.
what did Mike have on the hand, Charlie, that you just went all in on? I saw you had
Ace
queens.
9.
Oh.
Ace
Top
9.
pair.
Ace top pair. Ace kicker.
I had a flush draw. I'm glad I got out.
Destroyed.
Well, the flush hit, right? Like 4 hearts were there at the end.
Oh, were there? Well,
Yeah.
fuck me.
Good thing I went all in.
Yeah, good that you went all in, Charlie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
okay. Thanks for the raise, Mike. That would have been bad.
Luke, how's business been for you? Have you had a lot of new signups, people looking to learn crypto trading in the last couple months?
I haven't been in that business for about, it's August right now, like almost a year and a half, maybe more than a year. I just do the
Really?
podcast and trade.
I didn't know you got out. I didn't know
Yeah.
you weren't teaching trading anymore.
Nah, before that I had the newsletter, which I basically switched over to in 2019, which was like a business that scaled, but I just didn't really want to like every single day giving your opinion on the market and people expecting to return off that. It's just an awful business, like regardless of how good things are going.
Psychologically might be awful. It's pretty lucrative for a lot of people, but
it can be.
Chase
But
does beautiful out of it.
you're too good of a man, Luke, to
no, it's that. It's like also it's just the work-life balance. Like I still work a lot as it is, but it's just like it also doesn't scale. Like it really kind of caps, and I think a lot of people figured that out. Plus, it's just hyper competitive. There's better businesses to build. Is what I realized.
So it's always, you always wonder, like, if you're so good at calling trades, why don't you just make money trading instead of teaching?
Well,
Yeah.
plus too, like
that's the reality.
yeah, you also just
Most of
don't
these
really
paid
want to
group
share your
leaders-
info. Like if you have that
Plus,
info,
if you share it, then it's not that good anymore. For
yeah,
everyone
it's
to-
like. Plus, you just
Yeah.
assume a lot of risk if it starts to get pretty big. It kind of doesn't make sense once you start playing with a certain stack. So
definitely doesn't scale.
Well, and would you argue that a lot of, that acting as a financial advisor to an extent, right? Like,
No, not a lot. I mean, you can have you can have a newsletter. There's all types of people. Basically, every single person on the CNBC Fast Money desk has a newsletter that offers their picks or their directional input in the market.
no, I was talking more of like maybe not a newsletter, but like.
Ooh.
I mean,
I was behind both of you there.
I see what you mean. I think if you're just writing like a newsletter, you know, your thoughts, your opinion on the market directionally, I think it'd be hard to make a case that you're offering financial advice by saying you're bullish. But I don't know. I mean, if you were like, you could take a pretty aggressive line and say, you know, you should buy this today. I think that could probably get you in
Talking
trouble.
about like those paid groups where you join and it's like, this is the trade I'm making. This is the trade you got to make if you want to make X amount of money. Like,
Yeah,
then
I've
the guys
never
are-
never done that, so I don't know.
The guy is front running all the other trades, right? So that's how they make money.
yeah.
Sometimes it's explicit. Sometimes those groups they openly say we're going to pump and dump this coin, and the people participating know they're just trying to be first in, first out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
But
It's like a greater fool's game that people knowingly play.
plus, there's like child groups, right? So like, it's like a whole tree of people trying to pump and dump a certain coin. I'm losing connection to Fade.
I'm also losing connection. I just tried to call this
Me
hand.
too.
I really hope I don't fold out.
Ooh.
Am I
Bye,
on,
Luke. We've had that before.
am I on time bank?
No,
None of us
for me it
can.
says connection
Hey,
lost.
why am I
can't see
getting disconnected?
We all got
It's
it.
a-
We've all got it.
We all got it. It's a centralized poker server.
That's a really good
that?
raise
Oh.
there, Mike. Really good
I was
raise
about
there.
to take all of Luke's money.
So now we
know
know
you
Zoom
weren't.
is more reliable than Faded Spade.
Wow, Peter, could I have gone bigger on the end there?
No, not really. I
I was thinking I was going to bet 500 there.
no, I wouldn't have called that. I mean, I was pretty like, because I thought like with Bobby behind me, I'm probably drawing it best. I was actually behind Bobby. I was head on the turn because
Yeah,
I had the
Guys
straight on
were.
the turn.
Bobby was really.
Worse.
You were dead.
I should have folded with Bobby behind me.
Side is
Like,
down.
I think I've been making calls I don't normally make when I'm drinking, which is weird.
Wait, is the site actually down?
I thought you quit drinking, Peter.
I have. That's why I'm making shit
Huh?
calls.
Luke, what do you have?
I don't want to tell you. Are we still in this hand?
It might still be going on.
Is the side down or just our table frozen?
I don't know.
Side is down.
I think someone need to take a screenshot of all the balances so we know what's going on. If we
I just did, yeah.
Right, I'll refresh.
We're getting DDoSed.
maybe that's what it is. Let's check the crypto prices.
Got a gateway timeout.
The U.S. government is taking the site down. FBI confiscated it.
Free poker's now illegal.
Hey Ari, what's that company you said that most run their options trade streets at Paradigm?
So Paradigm is a chat layer that is integrated into a bunch of the exchanges, including Deribit and I think CME as well. So what happens is you can communicate with a market maker or other trading firm that is set up on the site, that's kind of like registered on the site. And then your account on Deribit or on another exchange is linked to Paradigm. And then you can agree on a price with the market maker, and then it posts the trade to Deribit or posts the trade to bit.com or CME. That's how most people do block trades, us included. Basically, if we want to do a chunky trade on Deribit, we're doing it through Paradigm. Paradigm's very well run. I have no financial connection to them, but very professional group that adding a good service.
Peter, did that work? Refreshing your browser?
I will try to refresh as well.
You got a gateway timeout.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, gateway timeout. Looks like that might be it for now.
No, man. I'm a degenerate. I'll wait.
How about this? We play in our heads. Bobby and Charlie act as random number generators.
And then what?
The last hour of this game's going to get fruity.
Actually, we could try out. We could try out to be a decentralized fund right now. You guys give me a coin to buy, and we'll socialize the win or loss.
There you go. That's an idea.
We could still get a little
Decentralized gambling.
There would actually be a very high win rate, right? If everyone on this call, if we're like, we're going to buy this, if you bought it quickly, Luke, and then we all talked about how awesome it was.
Well, if it's small enough.
I don't know how many people are watching this, but we've got a pretty diverse base of followers among the people here. We'd probably get some follow-on buying.
I wouldn't get away with it.
Not among the majors.
Peter, you're just you just freak out when I just apparently maximalist is a dirty word. You freak out when the
I'm not a maximalist.
Singularians. What's the polite term for someone who thinks by default anything other than Bitcoin is worthless?
Wait,
What's
Luke,
the like?
Did you refresh? Sorry.
What are they?
I don't want to
Bitcoin
refresh because
minimalist?
I want to be in this hand.
No,
Me
smart.
too.
Why do you keep saying that? As in you want me out?
Yeah, smart.
No, I want to play this hand.
What do you have? We can.
A big.
We can have a gentleman's agreement. I'll take 60. You take 40.
You're just scared of the Bitcoin minimalist pile-on, Peter.
Do you want to? Do you want to split the expected value of this hand? If there's 125 in the pot.
How are you going to price in position?
I could price in the position of if you give me your two cards and what are my two cards right now, just of a clean run out. Or we can wait.
I'll say,
3
Peter,
hours later, we're still
that
waiting.
that pile-on group in Bitcoin is as bad as the Link army, the XRP army, whatever it is. It has nothing to do with the quality of the asset. It's that kind of like groupthink bullying is just.
Depends who you're talking about because there's different factions.
Any
Bitcoin
faction
factions.
that feels a need to bully dissenting views into silence, whether that's an XRP faction, a Chainlink, or a Bitcoin faction, revolts me, and I am very happy to antagonize them.
Oh, I mean,
it's nothing to do with the
antagonize-
asset. Those are people not worth your time, and you shouldn't be disturbed if the fact that they're able to get 50 people to send you nasty messages. It's like you insult Hex, you get a bunch of people trolling you. You insult you say something that's violates the shibboleths of the Bitcoin minimalists, and you get 50 people harassing you. It's the same thing.
The safety's the worst. It's created a cult of ugly bullshit.
You know what I think's funny is even Joe Rogan recognized that. And there's like a famous clip where Joe Rogan's like, I do know one thing about Bitcoin. You don't talk shit about Bitcoin. He's like, they will fuck you up. He said his mention just got tore up for weeks.
There's a difference. Like I'm one of the people who tears up people like Nouriel Rini for talking garbage about Bitcoin, right? Like I'm one of the people who goes after any public figure for saying dumb things. That's very different than the people who won't tolerate any intellectually honest discussion.
No.
I mean, like people like Nick Carter. Like Nick Carter is a Bitcoin advocate, a Bitcoin proponent, a Bitcoin thinker, and he'll get attacked by that group for daring to explore intellectually things like the Bitcoin security model.
Or stock to flow.
That's just stupid. That's just That's just stupid. That's just and he feels like bad about it. He's like, my own people are attacking me, and it's like, those aren't your people, Nick. Like I'm a fan of Nick. Nick's a very smart guy and a very intellectually honest guy, and it's sad to see him attacked by kind of what he views as his crowd for just an intellectually honest exploration of a topic.
I would defend Nick, but my favorite this week was Saifedean Ammous, proponent of Bitcoin because he hates central planning and governments, would then start tweeting out data from the Belarus government, which is a dictatorship, that they've had a success with their COVID strategy. It's just fucking hypocrisy.
Yeah, I mean, those guys. He's a caricature, as are a lot of that kind of that little circle.
He's a Burke. In England, we would call him a Burke.
What's that mean?
Just a knob.
How do you say it? Burke? Is it B-U-R-K? I want to start using that when I talk to Cred.
B-E-R-K. So you're such a Burke, Cred.
Burke.
You'll love that.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'll add that.
It's the name your dad called you as a kid because he couldn't call you a prick.
Gotcha.
You're a Burke. And Francis Poulier is another one. He can fuck off.
No, but he's part of this. He's a tough guy, libertarian resistance, because he doesn't wear a mask in a private establishment that respectfully asks him to. He's a tough guy, right? It's like these guys who like want to pretend that they were in the military and they wear like flak jackets and like it's like they've got a complex because they never served in the military, but they want to be tough guys, and so they'll put themselves in completely safe scenarios and like walk through a white suburban neighborhood carrying AR-15s. Yeah. It's cosplay. That's what it's. Yeah, that stuff really it's fairly harmless. I don't actually care about it, but it bothers me when people like you feel harassed into silence by that group.
Yeah, they can go fuck themselves. I don't care. Francis especially, because Francis is just fucking crazy.
It's just dumb to me. If Bitcoin can't withstand mild intellectual criticism, like why are you advocating for it? Like if you actually think that you're protecting Bitcoin by assembling public harassment of those who intellectually explore its security model, what the hell are you doing? Like how weak is that? How fragile is your belief? Like if you actually think Bitcoin's going to conquer the world, you would feel no obligation to do that. You would think you're wasting your time by doing that.
But there's hypocrisy because they'll get pissed off that somebody's a full-on Bitcoiner who hasn't got the same exactly the same philosophy as them. And then they'll see some like random sports or anyone talk about Bitcoin on Twitter and leap in and start thinking they're the best. These people are far different ideologically from them. They're just fucking morons.
Luke, I got kicked out.
I did as well. So what do we do with the money that's in that pot?
We're back.
Oh, you're back?
We're back now?
Yeah, we're back.
Well,
I think
the table's empty. Or am I looking at something else?
Hold on. What do we do with this money that's in the pot? So it's just me and you that are in it, Mike?
Yeah, it was 85. I had raised.
So there's 125 in the pot. You want to split it EV? I think that's probably the fairest way to do it.
Just, I mean, we take back what we put in, right?
Oh, that's fine too.
Yeah.
God, mine's still frozen. Where's your guys's? What's going on with yours?
I see a new table with it's an empty table.
Right, Ari.
Ari and Peter are playing.
Right, Ari, check it
Should
out.
we sit in here or no?
I'll check it out.
I've got a good hand.
Yeah,
I'm winning this hand, Peter, but I'll check it out.
Chips are reset, Chris.
I don't think
so. I have a picture.
I'm definitely
of
winning
the
this hand.
table.
You got a king.
I do have a king.
It says you have to leave the table and refresh.
What was my chip count? Someone have my chip count?
I have a picture. I have a picture of everyone's chip count.
Tell me.
I don't have it in front of me anymore. I have it.
So me and Ari are sat at a new table. I don't know.
Are we playing or are we checking it down? What are we doing?
Ari, do you know how to set out next hand?
745 is what you had.
I want to play. I don't know what we're doing.
That's Bobby. First Bobby, Chris.
Hold on.
yeah.
Can you guys sit back at the same seats? Makes my job a lot easier.
What seat? Was that the seat I was? I think that was the seat I was in.
Yeah, no, it's Mike. You just got to check it. You got to sit out. Just check this one out. Ari, click on sit out next hand.
I think Ari.
Okay.
So
Ari's in the
what
same
did you
spot.
guys do to get it restarted? Did you exit and then refresh? Or?
Yeah, you just have to leave the table and then join again.
But this is essentially a brand new game now.
Yeah, it's a brand new game. I have everyone's old balances.
So we all sat down 1,000, but Bobby, you seem to have sat down with what you. Is that what you had when you? The table broke.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bobby sat with 745.
Booyah!
Bobby had 745. Yeah.
A kicker.
All right, Mike,
Beat
you
it.
need to move seat.
Yeah, Mike, you go back. Makes me easier.
Can Mike even hear? Mike,
Yeah, what's up?
you need to move seat back to where you were.
Can you go back to your old
How do
seat?
Yeah.
How do I stand up?
You might have to top right, leave.
I'll just leave. Okay.
Here's my last thought on that the minimalist debate or whatever. I hate bullies, and anyone who's willing to intellectually debate and stand by their ideas. Like that's really what this comes down to for me. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's people who aren't trying to win an argument with data or logic, who aren't putting skin in the game and betting that they'll be right, who aren't trying to build or create or advocate. It's people who are literally trying to harass others into silence. And to me, that's just despicable. And these are not strong people. These are like the high school kids who got bullied and suddenly they find themselves with a few thousand Twitter followers and they feel powerful and like
The plebs.
it goes to their head.
I have a group of about 10 to 20 who tweet about me nearly on a daily basis. It's relentless. Just fucking block them.
Are we playing now? Should I be sitting in next stand?
Playing,
All right.
Bobby.
Sure.
Outside of
Rubbish.
since the last time, is Mike the only one that rebought before?
I
think
have-
So
I
no
have-
one busted recently.
I had that for you, Chris. I sent it to you on Twitter. The old chat, and then also final tables.
But Mike after that bought in, I think, for another 1,000. So it was like 3.8 he was in, but then he was up after he doubled up, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. I sent you the thing.
Killer hand.
Oh, we lost Charlie.
I don't know.
So I'm the only one who sat down with the original previous balance.
Yeah.
Correct.
So no plus minus for me.
Luke, when do we get through 12K? Why is it struggling?
I think Arya has a way better explanation for that than I don't really understand the systematic vol sellers, to be completely honest. I focus a lot more of my energy on how alts are going to do based on how Bitcoin's moving. Okay. There's not really an edge for me to play Bitcoin, honestly.
So what's your take in terms of the alts doing the Bitcoin? Like, do you feel this is the alts bull cycle, Luke?
I don't know. Like, I also try to stay away from any predictions outside of like a month. I mean, I don't really make any money predicting things. But like I've been long for 2 months. I'm probably going to continue to be long until something changes drastically. Every single day that Bitcoin hits resistance, majors jump up another 10%. And then if Bitcoin pulls back, mid caps and DeFi coins pump 25%. So it's like, even if you're not in the one that's moving the best that day, it probably makes sense to keep that exposure until we see a broad market sell-off that lasts longer than 5 days. We haven't had that. I don't know. Or some news comes out or whatever it is. But it's like,
Well, what would have happened yesterday if Yam, that $500 million was lost, not 750? Do you think it would have totally massacred the market?
like,
I think
Yeah.
so.
maybe,
$500
yeah.
million was lost? Yeah, I think all of DeFi would have been.
Yeah, DeFi
most of
coins.
DeFi was down 10%, but that was a blip. That was a 1 day of gains retracement. $500 million was lost. I think most of DeFi would have been down 50%.
Yeah.
On that, like instantly, and then ETH would have been down 25%. Bitcoin would have been down 10. That would be my guess.
I agree. I think that would have been like separating the boys from the men, right? Like some of the platforms, that have been around and continue to be around with good leadership behind them, and solid product, SNX and Aave and Compound and so forth. That would have been the defining moment for short term.
I'm gonna tell you what I have pocket nines. No, I don't.
Wait, what? In the last hand?
No, this hand.
Peter, when are you dropping the Vitalik
Sunday.
interview?
Yeah,
Monday?
Sunday. I've got, because tomorrow's like my 250th episode, so I'm actually dropping like a double episode tomorrow. So I've got one episode where I had Matt Odell, Nick Carter, Giacomo, Jack Mallers, someone else, and then I've got like 60 clips from people who've been on the show, like just saying for a minute like who they are, what they do, and one thing about Bitcoin, and just put it into like one big mega mix. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
That's gonna be really
That's
cool.
cool.
One of the funniest experiences I've had on crypto Twitter, one of the people you named, I won't name him, accused me. I was like going back and forth with him, and he accused me of shilling Bitcoin Cash, and I was like, "What are you talking about? I don't recall ever shilling Bitcoin Cash." And we went back and forth, and he kept saying, I'm like, "Find me where I don't." I mean, I've tweeted, I have like 20,000 tweets. I don't remember. Maybe there was a day in 2017 when I was bullish on it, but like, and my team had bought me for my birthday a set of cake pops. And they had gotten Bitcoin, Monero, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash symbols on these. A cake pop it's a lollipop with cake on the top. Okay. And I posted a picture to Twitter of this thing of cake pops with my whole team. And that was his evidence of me shilling Bitcoin Cash. And ironically, I posted that picture and I jokingly wrote, "Cake pops are not financial advice." And I then got accused of shilling one of the assets that had its symbol on a cake.
Was it Giacomo?
It wasn't. But I'm not trying to single anyone out. And
then it was Matt Odell, because it would be Jack Mallers and it would be Nick Carter. So
okay. Process of elimination. But I wasn't trying to attack anyone. It was more just it was just hilarious to me that I post a picture of cake pops with a bunch of crypto symbols and I get accused of shilling one of them.
Sounds like a shill to me. Already.
It would be a creative
And it was
show.
years later.
It'd be
He
a creative
remembered
show.
2 years later and actually hunted through my history of thousands of tweets to find that image.
You might have a shit list.
It's like that scene in Billy Madison. Crossing you off with the lipstick.
I've definitely seen that famous monologue where he's like, "May God have mercy on your soul. We are all dumber for having heard that." You know, there's a lot in crypto that deserves that response. I very often read things that leave me feeling dumber for having read them. Let's turn it positive. What's the best? Who deserves a call out, or what platform, what person, who's a great content provider, or what platform's a great source of just great content?
This guy.
Peter, you have a great podcast.
It's a great show.
Does
Pete.
great content.
Love you, Pete.
I think The Block is great.
I'm trying to think of someone new that's recently stepped into the game.
I'll say one group that's been crushing it is Delphi Digital.
Big fan of Delphi.
We worked with them a little bit. We have no like stake in them or anything, but we very early on when they were like almost working. I wasn't part. I think they were part time when we first talked to them. It was like 3 people working part time, or they had just left their jobs. We hired them to do like a little one-off research project, and we're impressed with their work. And now they've really become thought leaders in the space. They've done. They're basically redoing the token economics of a bunch of projects and crushing it. Yeah, and any project that wants a serious review of your token economics, the Delphi guys know what they're doing.
Is Cohen considered credible?
Cohen,
Trump's lawyer.
Oh, I thought because there's a Cohen accounting firm that does crypto accounting.
Because he's just leaked some things from his book, right? Like, for example, that the golden shower and Russian collusion and all that shit. Is he considered credible?
I don't know.
You're all scared of the NSA, aren't you?
I'm on every list imaginable. I tweet something anti-Trump every other day. I'd be afraid of visiting mainland China at this point. I've tweeted about.
Oh my goodness!
Sorry, Chris. I'm sorry.
Again.
I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Chris. I'm sorry, Chris. That's fucked.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Flop the nut flush.
I'm sorry, dude.
Wow,
I'm sorry, dude.
that was a form of kind. It wasn't even.
Flushes are garbage here. Flushes are garbage.
That right
If you don't
there.
have at least a full house, don't bother playing.
That was Chris.
See,
That was Chris farming.
man. You got to run from those tens.
That was Chris farming right there.
You know, let me ask you guys there. So I was just gonna call that 300 because I was kind of thinking, like, if I were to pump it, he's gonna call me with either the trips or the boat, or maybe the straight.
The boat.
But
Yeah.
I felt like
The boat beat you there, though.
I felt maybe you had like a Jack 10, King 10. You know, that's why I was like, maybe I shouldn't pump it. Obviously, didn't put you on quads, but
I would have called.
was that?
I think
You
your
wouldn't have raised it up?
I think your bet's good, and maybe even calling my re-raise is good. But there's too many boats sometimes that I could have there. I don't know.
That's just a call.
I
That's
call
just a
I call hands like that too, though. Like I overcall, if anything. But yeah, I think theoretically it would just be a call, like, because the only hands that I'm gonna recall with after you shove are boats or better, because you have the
think
flush.
Call with a lower flush, or a straight.
No, because you want me to have the flush. Like, basically, if you're thinking of hands that you can get value from, like you get value if I have the nut flush, or if I have the second nut flush, or straight. So like if you have the flush,
maybe 10.
Yeah, 10.
Maybe 10,
10.
because
Sure.
right, because I'm sitting there like I checked the flop, you raised, I
Sure.
just called, I didn't re-raise at any point. You could have easily put me on like a, an ace high flush draw with a pair or something, like an ace jack or something like that.
Sure, ace 10.
Nonetheless,
so trips
that was
is like
just
the only
something to
one.
discuss.
Like trips is the only one.
I feel like you're the unluckiest at this table, Sputter.
I would agree with that.
I feel like you had a lot of rough rides, man.
To be fair, I caught Bobby on the river, although I had him beat all the way down today, but I caught him on the river. That was pretty brutal. I had you beat the whole way though. That was the only thing with the trip fives. I thought I even had more chips here. I don't even know. I'm just. Oh, boy.
Man, two quad tens.
It's on you, Pete.
Oh,
I'll take that. I'll take that. I knew you were gonna show Ace Jack there too. I'm literally walking into just a dumpster fire, but the odds were there.
Oh,
It's
for
like,
you to
there's
stay in
so
the
much
hand?
on
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah.
It's actually like a dream spot for you because you have to be in. So if three guys are going to match you, it's like it's not a bad spot.
It's perfect. Yeah. Wow, quads. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, that's tough. When you reshoved, I was like, oh man, that's pretty fucked. I don't even feel good making that play.
It was just there was no way I'm getting you off there no matter what. You flop the trips.
Yeah,
So,
I call
none of us
basically
have
everything.
Yeah, you're all the way. But I always overlook that. I always overlook. Obviously not quads, but like say another jack came on the board, right? I could have still felt confident, but there's a lot of times people have boats there, right? Like you had two pair on the floor. That's a pretty
not a lot of hands, but it's like if you're gonna
common thing for someone to call my whole in.
Yeah, I need to focus more on that too. It's more like you want to get max value on that hand, but you don't necessarily want to play for stacks because now you have like the third best hand. So if you have that hand, it means I don't have that hand. So what am I that willing to put in a ton of money with? So it's like if you block the flush, there's an even less chance that I have a shittier flush than you. It's like, so I'm extra nutted there, or I probably folded earlier.
And on top of that, I had the Royal Straight draw. I need the Queen of Hearts, and I would have had the Royal Straight.
Yeah, it's a nasty run out. Any way you look at it.
I thought you were going to go all in.
Who, me?
Yeah. That would have been a juicy pot to push all in.
Not that desperate, Ari.
All right, your call. Well,
Ended.
Man, I have no idea what you have here, Luke. No idea. I have a hand.
Call him.
What do you have? It's the turn though. If this was the river, I call. What am I willing to play on the river? It's not even that big of a bet. Oh, I'm gonna give it up to you. I think I misplayed this hand. What'd you have, Luke?
Nice.
I actually folded 8-10. So I don't know if that's a good fold or a bad fold.
6, 7, 8. What? We both needed the 9 to get there.
Well, 9 would have given me a straight, but I mean,
okay.
We both had top pair. You had me out kicked, so in theory,
okay.
I folded the second best hand. But I also feel like I got outplayed in the sense that
I was in position.
Whoever shows more strength wins that hand. I think so.
Yeah, I was in position. I guess you could peel that. I guess you could stay around for the river, but it's like any face card, you're in a bad spot.
Yeah, I don't.
I
just couldn't come up with a river line. I couldn't think of how I wanted to play it on the river. So If spade hits, am I representing it? Am I, what? I don't know. I couldn't think fast enough.
There's not a lot of good cards for you unless it's the 9.
Yeah, and I'm not calling for a 9. I thought, I don't know. I mean, you could have like an ace with a flush draw.
Basically, it's on a board like that, anyone in early positions kind of like I could play it terribly and still kind of outplay you there, and I could against really any player. It's just like you have an advantage on a board like that. That's tons of straights, tons of flushes. Like I can rep more stuff than you can. I think it's easier to get in trouble if you have to bet first.
I'm gonna say that I played that well by laying down the lesser kicker.
It is a good fold.
I did think actually at the margin the reason I folded was was enough of your range was a 10-jack or an ace-10 or king-10.
Yeah.
That was the thinking behind the fold really.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, fuck off! I'm
Hello.
going.
Oh, Peter's out.
Yeah, I'm out. See ya.
What up, Mike?
Uh-oh. How's it going? Good to see you guys.
Let's first tell us how did you spend the money?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
all the strip clubs are closed, so I wonder how you spent the money.
Yeah, it was. I mean, haven't done anything with it. I think I'm. One of these days I'm gonna have a losing session. I think I'm. 3 for 3. The one day I only won money flipping coins, and then 2 for 2. Poker wise. But yeah, that was a crazy session last week. I don't know. It's been probably 10 years since I've had a cash game session where I win 10 buy-ins kind of thing. So that was a good one. I sucked out on almost everybody last week.
You had. I was explaining it. You had the perfect combination of good luck and played well.
Except when I folded those trips to you. You were just trying to bluff me off nothing, and I folded trips.
I know. That was a weird fold.
Yeah, it was probably terrible.
I forced you off the first hand, Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, Mike, why don't I have your picture?
It was those queens that you were like 3 of you all in, and you hit a flush with them.
Yeah, I didn't have 4-color deck on at the time. Now I'm sharp with my 4-color deck. Who else was playing earlier? Was it you guys, or was there anyone else in as well?
Charlie was on.
Yeah, Charlie left. I think he's the only one who left.
By the way, we haven't played together, Ari. Nice to meet you. I think we've exchanged emails a couple years ago. No.
My pleasure. Nice to meet you.
I knew you were gonna do that, Bobby. Fuck.
I just have an ace.
I had the king. I didn't put you on that. I figured you were gonna do it, but good check. Mike, what happened was the table crashed.
Okay.
So we all had to reset it 1,000 chips, probably 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, that makes sense because I was noticing no one has chips, so I was wondering. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Even without that, no one's actually had a run in this game. It's been a really tight game. I can't remember anyone really getting above 2,000.
No, not really. A few people, I think Bobby did, and then he lost, and then...
Yeah, we usually have 1 or 2 people get to 4,000 or 5,000. We haven't had any of that. It's been really tight.
I think it'll get there.
And now that Mike's here, permission to go above 2,000.
Yeah, Mike's gonna walk away with 18,000.
We need Jeremy Gardner or Brock Pierce in the game to liven things up.
Yeah. Just talking to Jeremy, I should get him in.
Oh.
He's busy with his skincare line these days, and Brock Pierce is running for president.
Bigger and better things.
What are the odds there? We've got
Biden,
Diamond, Trump, and Brock Pierce.
I think Trump's at 45%. I don't know. Mike, do you have Brock priced on your site?
No. I mean, we can. If anyone wants to bet him, I'll give people. I'll give someone 5,000 to 1 if they want to take Brock, kind of thing. But it's
better.
Chris,
he's off the
man.
board. Jeez.
It's like
2 rough weeks in a row for Chris. Jeez.
Mike, how's the Trump betting changed since Kamala got announced?
Yeah, I think the odds. So the odds recently have been getting, Trump's win percent has been getting higher lately. I think that is less to do with Kamala and more to do with things that Biden said a week ago, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it seemed like the kind of downward momentum had already started, and then I think it's roughly the same as it was 2 days ago. I tend to trust Betfair the most.
Really?
And we sort of copy Betfair, and I think Betfair has Trump is about 39-40%, Biden is about 59-60%, and like 1% Pence or Kamala or whatnot.
What
That's
about
still quite the lead, but the people I know who are Republicans, they're really confident still.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things where I kind of feel like the narrative of polls don't matter is sort of one of those things, a narrative that's similar to like Tether is a scam or whatnot, where it's like you can never be disproven in calling it. So it's like when you were previously right that, hey, you don't believe in polls, and last election, the person leading in the polls didn't win the election. Now I think that you can just kind of keep on hopping to that, even though Biden's lead is something like twice as big as Hillary's ever was. And it's one of those things you can people can easily always hop to it. Where yes, polls aren't necessarily dead on, but the margin of error is it's flirting with things looking pretty good for Biden if the election were to happen tomorrow. But again, a lot can change in a few months. But yeah, a lot of people are really confident. I think it's another. Oh, this has been fun. I'll talk after
this. Is there a place to see the action on this hand? Does the chat show it? No, it doesn't. Bobby, I'll just fold.
Yeah, I gotta fold. I know what's gonna happen.
Oh my god, I had twos.
I had eights.
Did you? I was so tempted to rip it with twos.
It's a cooler, jeez.
Are you kidding me? Like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, Mike, you just missed it. Chris had nut flush, flops the nut flush, and I eventually catch runner at quad tens. Chris is
runner. I thought you flopped trips.
I guess I flopped trips. Then quads came in. The turn.
You hit it on the turn.
Still, I mean that's so nasty.
The first hand I buy in back, and it's kings against aces.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, man.
Every single time I play, you run the worst, Chris. Like,
yeah, that is true.
Sessions I'm not here, but I'm like your Achilles heel or something. I sit down and you snap loose 2 buy-ins.
You literally sat down and I lost like three all-ins like immediately. Like, this is brutal.
I'm not gonna, even if I lose, I won't get invited back.
Yeah.
Fuck. Pete, the other comment I was going to make about elections, which I think is pretty interesting, is if you're someone who's just a major homer and you don't you have your hunches with sports betting, you have 80 or 160 opportunities to get proven wrong each year, kind of thing. Whereas with elections, you only really get that once every 4 years. So I kind of get the vibe that whoever won money last cycle gets overconfident, and whoever lost money last cycle gets kind of shook. So my hunch is kind of just always bet on whoever lost the last election is kind of my my 1 sentence advice for elections.
It's very rare for an incumbent not to be re-elected, right?
I think it's pretty rare. I don't know, 3 or 4 to 1 favorite or something like that.
Unless there's a huge disapproval.
But in terms of incumbents that haven't been reelected, I'm sure the percentage is really low in general.
Yeah, I think I want to say it's about 1 out of 4 times they don't get reelected, something along those lines.
Mike, I'm curious why you choose Betfair instead of FTX. Is there a way to know, or I bet you just know what Betfair's volume is versus FTX? Like, how much volume do they do?
Yeah, so I mean, so the yeah, I mean, so Betfair, I think I could check. I think it's something like 40 million pounds or something like that.
Okay, that's huge.
Yeah, it's been pretty huge, and I also, so you know, I have one friend who's traded. You know, I mean, there's a market maker on FTX who's the biggest trader there, and I think that you know, my friend is the second biggest trader there, and it's just like we've just kind of looked at the behavior of their market maker, and I don't really think they know what they're doing. You know,
in terms of the presidential.
Yeah, I mean, they spent, you know, tens of thousands of dollars buying Pete once he wasn't even in the race anymore.
I see.
You know, it's just like they've definitely. I think it's just like I think it's, you know, it's either themselves or someone with, you know, more dollars than cents who's just incentivized to kind of allow betting on this market without really caring if they make money or not. Is kind of my take. So I think at FTX, it's not off from the market rate, but I think it's,
I got you. That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think they care. I think whoever's doing it doesn't care if they make money or not.
I see. I didn't know Betfair was that big. That's huge.
Yeah, no, it's pretty decent. I mean, the one thing is they have aggressive rules regarding who can use it. You know, they don't accept Bitcoin. They have high deposit and withdrawal fees. You know, they have a lot of things that prevent it from being, you know, super.
It's British, right, Betfair?
Super efficient, but I think they kind of have the best, you know, the best book around, you know, the most liquidity, etc. Yeah, they're my go-to, I suppose. It's likely that closer to election date, FTX will be better than Betfair, but I think right now,
I got you.
When not that many people are betting, no, they don't really care. Predicted is just trash.
How's your hoops going?
Good, really good. I hit 96 out of 100 on my home rim, which is probably probably like somewhere between 88 and 92 on a real rim. I don't have a real rim in my town, so I need to drive 2.5 hours anytime I want to go shoot on like a regulation rim, and I don't want to do that too often, so I'm not really making real attempts. I'm just kind of using my home rim, trying to get better. Probably averaging 83-84% on my home rim or something like that. So it's been going well. And yeah, I think at some point I'll just, you know, head into Calgary, you know, get 80 or low 80s or something, and have like a kind of a true PB that's not a joke or whatnot. But yeah, it's been going well. Yeah, I hit 54 in a row on the 96, which was my previous best was something like 26 or 28 in a row. So that was nice.
Like, why don't you just put up like a rim somewhere?
I mean, we have a rim, like we have a rim in our house. Like, I mean, I don't want to shoot outside. You know, the wind is just like way too much. And then we have the rim in our house, but there's something where it's like everything is like, you know, regulation, except the fact that the backboard is drilled into wood studs, I think just gives it a little bit too much give, where it's just, you know, like, you know, it's all the parts that would be used in a proper setup, but it's just the rim is too forgiving. Like instead of bouncing off hard, oftentimes the rim just kind of like, you know, drops down, you know, 1/8 of an inch or whatever, and it just kind of cushions it a little bit, and you make some shots you shouldn't otherwise make, and you know, people won't allow that. But I mean, if I could just go try to like buy something in my living room, but then you'll have people saying, oh, that's not 15 feet, oh, that's not 10 feet high or whatnot. So it's like, you know, I told people I'd do everything, you know, a regulation setup, and I don't have access to any gym in my town or any of the kind of neighboring towns. So I got to drive a while to do that. So it's a bit of a headache.
That's a really nice hand, Pete.
Yeah, I mean,
in the end.
Shouldn't even been in the hand. Shouldn't have been in it, and then hit runner.
I think that's kind of okay to call 7-8 suited there. It said 7-8 off.
I've been hoping I would get quads here at some point, but I think I'm gonna be out when it gets back to my big blind. I'm gonna have to give up on getting quads tonight, like you guys have.
Luke,
Mike, we've had 2 sets of quad 10s tonight.
Interesting. All right, that's kind of random.
All right,
Have they been big pots?
Oh yeah, both
Pretty
are
big. Yeah. Well, at least I think one of them was all in. The other was pretty big.
Okay. I'll be careful on those 2-10 boards.
I was holding tens and it flopped 10 queen 10.
Not
So
a
I
bad
just had
flop.
to. That's okay. I just checked it round and luckily Mike bet into me, so I was kind of lucky.
I'm tempted to play this just because Chris is losing every hand. Doesn't matter what he's holding, but
That's so fucked up.
in all seriousness, I was like, this is technically a fold, but Chris is gonna lose it. So
If Chris is the razor pre-flop, I'm in.
Sorry.
Any
That gives me so much confidence. Look, you guys just
Literally.
call it as me.
basically
Everything.
One of
wait,
us
didn't
has
Doyle
2
Brunson
fives.
say you have to play other people's terrible runs? You have to just kind of let the momentum, the negative momentum for other people happen.
Yeah, that's my favorite quote ever in a poker book. He has a sentence where he says, statisticians will tell you that the deck has no memory, but statisticians make about $30,000 a year. I've made over $1 million playing poker, and you can believe who you want. Was his quote. He really believes in playing brushes.
I did love his comment about the value of superstition. I thought that was actually a really meaningful, profound comment. So in Super System, Brunson, I Mike, correct me if I'm misremembering. I haven't read the book in 15 years, but Brunson talks about how superstitious people will often save themselves money from scams because the person who's superstitious and says, man, this dealer always gives me bad cards, they might actually be protecting themselves from a scam dealer, from the dealer who actually is bottom dealing them bad cards.
I mean, there's probably some truth to that, and that probably played a bigger role, in the 1980s and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is like, these days, it's like for me, I've never played in a private cash game in my entire life kind of thing, where it's just like, I just feel like they're all scams, or at least 20% of them are scams. And in that 20%, I'm losing so much that it makes up for the 80% kind of thing.
What about this one?
Yeah.
Is this one a scam?
I mean live. Like,
Yeah.
If this is a scam, you guys are running a very elaborate scam on me. Last week,
Giving you money.
Yeah.
Mike, what would you be afraid of in a physical cash game? Marked cards, colored lenses, bottom dealing. What scams actually would you be afraid of?
Let me find the really scary scam. It might take me like 5 minutes of Googling, but there's this device that at the moment, like I've always been wary of these, and as soon as I heard about this device, I'm just like, private games shouldn't exist. Let me see if I can find it.
What does it do?
I saw there's like an iPhone. It's not an iPhone, but like a cell phone that can, especially marked decks of cards that are basically invisible, and it can scan them in real time just from the side of the card deck.
That's exactly it. It's like a fake cell phone, fake cell phone that tells you who's going to win the hand. Like you don't even know. It just tells you seat 3 is going to make the best hand.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Based on the RFID? Or what?
No. It's a marked deck of cards, but it's marked so subtly that no human eye can see it. And the camera is looking at the side view of the deck, the camera can see every single card and identify exactly which cards are being dealt to who and what the flop will be and the turn in the river. And it'll just tell you this person's going to have the winning hand.
Yeah, and you can buy this thing for like $2,000 or something like that. It's like not at all, expensive. And it's just like the existence of something like this just makes me feel you should never play a private game.
The deck still has to be in on it, though, too. Like the dealer and the deck
Right,
have to be loaded as well. Okay.
Right, exactly, yeah.
You can buy a sealed bicycle deck with these markings. You can buy a deck that is indistinguishable and is brand new and is sealed and is an actual bicycle deck or whatever your preferred deck is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's so fucked up. And, people, I have no idea how much high stakes winning poker players have lost over the years in games like that, but I would guess 100 million, maybe more than 100 million, just like so many people go and just lose 100 grand in some crooked game. And it just happens fucking time and time again. It's really, it's really nasty how much people have been gotten for in these games.
Let me just interrupt. Spud up. You had the ace in that hand. What was your kicker?
I didn't have the ace.
You didn't? You had a pair, pocket pair?
Yep.
Interesting. I wish you'd had the ace because I had the 5.
Did you? For real?
Yeah. For real, I had the 5. and I bet you based on you having. I thought you had the ace.
Yeah, I played it like I had the ace for sure.
But I overbet to make it look like a bluff. I was thinking he might be on tilt.
And you just called everyone pre-flop just because the odds were.
Yeah, well,
there.
it was a rainbow board, right? There was no 2 cards to a flush.
No, I'm saying like pre-flop, right? To have a 5 in your hand type thing.
Yeah, because everyone was calling just to fuck with you. I think I was small blind anyway.
You were, yeah. No, actually, I don't know.
No, I wasn't. No.
You were last. You were last to call, and I think Mike and Luke already called my raise. Maybe even Ari too.
I just know there's like certain times of the game where whatever I call, I'm going to beat you.
Yeah.
It just runs in you like that.
You had me beat anyway, so.
Luke,
What up?
what did I finish when we crashed? I'm trying to work out if I'm up or down.
I gotcha. You. Let me make my decision.
Can you
here
just
in a
type
sec.
into the group all the balances during that screenshot that you took?
Yeah, I can. Peter, you had 1327.
1927, so I was down then. Yeah.
Like back when I was in college, what was this, 16 years ago, I would play in Atlantic City on occasion, and I once spotted this was at maybe like a 15-30 limit game, 2 players who were not very good but were clearly colluding and like telling each other their hands. And I flopped some weird, awesome flop, and they like one hit pocket aces and the other garbage, and they tried to trap me in the middle, and it was just like so clear what was happening, and I just kind of like let it happen. And they were like guys who didn't really know how to. I mean, I wasn't that sophisticated a player, so for me to spot cheating meant they weren't like real pro cheaters.
Right. Yeah.
But it was funny, and it was so transparent what was happening. And it was like, okay, you guys got me trapped in the middle, and like, you know, one had pocket aces, and I had like flopped a flush or something. So.
Oh, that would be so frustrating. That sounds awful.
You know, it was amazing. It was amazing. And then, of course, one folded on the river, and then the guy like proudly showed his aces, and it's like, I flopped a flush, buddy. They like trapped me in every street they were capping. They clearly did not really know what they were doing.
Oh, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I don't think I ever played high enough stakes to worry about like really sophisticated cheaters. Although today, I don't know. That was back in the heyday of poker, like 2004, when, like now you may have more sophisticated cheating at lower stakes just because it's so competitive. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, botting is so scalable as well, where it's like if you rather than try to get a bot that crushes the best players, why not try to get 1,000 bots that kind of crush everybody, kind of thing. So I think there's a good bit of that happens. Yeah, kind of at all stakes. Yeah, like it's but not as much until maybe the last 7-ish years, 8 years.
I'm gonna call it quits tonight, guys. Good luck and thanks everyone.
Nice meeting you.
Later.
A pleasure, Mike.
Yo.
It's on you, buddy.
Sorry, dude.
You have the king there, Bobby?
Nope.
What an overcall, Luke. Jesus.
Me?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I wasn't in that hand.
At 75%. McDonald calls and then phew.
Oh, in the previous hand?
Yeah.
What'd you have?
I had 2 pair.
Yeah, I made a bad call.
Yeah.
I had the nuts.
I know. It was like I'm about to.
I had the nuts on the turn.
No, you did.
Oh shit.
On the hand
you
when
made
that us three on the hand that us three were in.
Yep.
I had the I had the king of
You had a
diamonds.
king high flush draw? Or
Yeah.
you had a nut draw?
I had the nut flush. There was 3 diamonds on the board on the turn.
So you had like king 8 of diamonds or something,
Yeah,
or you had
king 7 of
okay.
diamonds.
Oh man, I was so far behind both of you.
Yeah,
What an awful call by me.
I just
thought you called it a bear or something, and we're gonna like maybe get a little sticky on the end.
no,
I just had king 10.
I just didn't want another diamond to come out. I thought you guys would keep betting on the end, but it kind of killed the action. Yeah, I wasn't overcalling there. I was in the lead, I think, the whole way.
Mike, did you have like 10-9 or like ace 10 or?
Wouldn't you like? No.
Okay, fair. Yeah. Yeah, Luke, if you raised that, could have become a big pot between you two. I was in there just so dead.
I can't believe you didn't raise Luke when Mike called in between. Like,
well, because you guys were both calling, so I figured like you guys had to have big hands, and we're just gonna fire on the river. I was gonna let it. I didn't want to kill the action.
So cards that kill action there.
I guess if a face card comes out, it lets you guys catch trips. Lets you catch. I don't know. I was hoping you could catch anything. Basically anything but a diamond.
Well, an ace would have been pretty great, but
that's what I was hoping. Something big like that. I think I'm only raising there with a flush, and that probably doesn't excite you guys.
You got to raise there as a bluff. Next time you've got like king of diamonds jack, king of diamonds queen, just fire it up and try to knock us off 2 pair.
Well, now that you're telling me to do that, I have to wait for the second.
All right. That's always one of the funnest things when you have the card that the nut flush blocker, and you're just like, all right, I'm trying my best to win this pot. Chance room to suck out, and then
the only problem is I don't think too many people respect my raises in this game. I've been caught bluffing too many times.
Fair.
Talk about you. I'm always in it with the best hand, as if I don't have good hands. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always in it with the best hand.
You were just running horrible over the past few sessions, but especially tonight.
Yeah, last week was even worse, man. After you left, it was like 4 binds in a row, like on the river, 4 in a row, like something disgusting like that.
President Trump today doubling down.
Hi.
Nice hand, man.
Literally, as I said, you're running bad. The third queen comes out. It's just like, it's insane.
That was a bad raise on my part. I didn't put you on the queen. I thought I'd get you off of it, but
Something I've been trying to do more is like if I hit the trip, I used to check it, try to disguise, but I think if you bet, most people assume like you wouldn't bet so big if you had trips. I play around with the DTO app, and sometimes I can't tell the reasoning, but it tells me to bet trips more than I was.
Luke, have you played any short deck?
I've never played any game but Hold'em.
Well, we should play other games.
Sounds like I'm losing money in that game.
I doubt it. I was playing this other game named called Ricky for a while. So has shown in the results of this game.
What was it?
This game called Ricky. It's like a variant of Up the River, Down the River.
I don't know that one either.
Yeah, me neither. You definitely know more poker games than me.
It's not poker.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, man, I've been playing quite a bit of poker again though for the past month.
Well, yeah, after coming off that big win.
Yeah, the Venom, and I got paid out, so it worked out.
Congrats.
Yeah, it worked out.
They pay out in Bitcoin or?
Yeah, they just honored the thing. I got my account banned, but like I spoke with Phil, and he understood the situation. It worked out. So, I mean, it's actually
Luke, what happened?
nice.
What happened to the American Card Room that your what's his name, Bob Saget?
Yeah. So I had just what I do with almost every crypto account I have. I just have not my real name, and I also used a fresh email. Like I have an old, I made an account there years ago, right? It had played tournaments, and then I have a new account that I've been playing on. But I don't play on two accounts. I've never, they've been two totally separate time periods, two totally separate accounts. But but after I won, the system caught that, and they were like, "Why do you have two accounts? This looks really bad. You have a fake name." And then I realized, I was like, "Oh shit, that actually does look pretty awful in the poker world." But to me, it just seemed like a normal thing to do. Have a fresh email, not use your real name, but. I mean, they could track it. They could see the results. There was nothing that hurt the game integrity or anything. But they just blocked my account and said I have to use my real name. So I'm fine with that.
So what happened? Did you get the money?
Yeah, I spoke with the CEO and he worked it out. So and then everyone below me got a pay jump. So I got banned from that tournament. I guess that account got banned. But
what do you mean? Everyone below you got a pay jump?
So anyone that my account got banned on that. I'm banned on that account. Oh, wow. So if you're in that, if you were in the Venom below me and we're on a ladder, let's say the guy below me, he cashed for 22K. I basically got eliminated from the tournament. So he just got a pay jump. There's not everyone below me got a pay jump.
So you didn't, hold on. Did you get paid out for your winnings?
I spoke with the CEO and we worked something out. He understood kind of the situation, but my account's banned on that, if that makes sense.
That's pretty generous.
Technically, did not get the full payout. Is that what you're telling me?
That's very generous. Wow.
It worked out, Bobby. He understood the situation. That's kind of what I'm going to say. But
so you can't. There's some agreement you can't talk about it.
I wouldn't say that at all. My account got banned. They understood the situation. I understood that I shouldn't use a fake name, and kind of it worked out for the both of us. I think I'll just say that.
But my question is, if all the tournament winners got a pay jump, then they actually paid out more money.
Yeah, I literally got banned. That account got banned. I don't know what to tell you. But it gives me a lot of faith. That's a good thing that ACR should be catching that. That's it gives you faith, kind of gives you trust in the poker system.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
200 above in my hands.
So interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a shitty situation, but it worked out.
You're not bluffing.
But in the past, that site's gotten a ton of flack for fake accounts or bots or whatever. So it's kind of cool that they actually did, can see that kind of shit and do catch it.
I'm so confused whether they paid out more than they should have in terms of prize pool.
They did.
Yeah, I got banned from the tournament, and people below me got a pay jump. So yes, they did for those people.
Well, no. If outside of your own settlement, then they paid out exactly the amount, right?
Yeah, that they promised. That they were going to pay anyways.
Yeah, they were going to pay. That's the guaranteed value of the tournament. Plus, the people below me got a pay jump. It's not good for them if they have to do that, right? They have to pay jump people extra money.
Yeah,
I'm confused by your answer. But I guess if you can't talk about it, you can't talk about it.
I can talk about it, but it's there's some things that maybe aren't worth talking about here. But like,
But I made a mistake. I was thinking they would have paid the same amount, but that's not the situation.
yeah, that's not true because
Because
like even if I get
everyone-
eliminated, yeah, regardless of me, the people below me get a pay jump. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if,
So okay, that makes sense. So let's say you disappeared. That everybody get a pay jump, and then they're told if they paid 100 people, they still paid 100 people for the right amount, and the total prize pool got paid out. No one made more, no one made less. I mean, the people made more, but the casino still paid out the whole prize pool.
no,
You follow me?
they have to pay a little bit more because imagine if you're on the bubble and I got eliminated in 27th, and the guy on the bubble who was in 400th, he didn't make any money. Now he's in 399th, so he just made some money. So only if
Yeah, I
you
know,
were in
but-
a ladder spot. So that's extra money they have to pay out. I guess it can come from my winnings, but it's extra money in the grand scheme of things. I imagine they'd lose money on that. It's not a situation they want.
No, let me ask you: the guy who finished after you,
Yeah,
let's say he was going to win $100, and let's say you won 105.
yeah.
Did that guy get 100 or did he get 105?
He got bumped up. Everyone below me got a pay jump. That was on a ladder spot.
Okay, so again, back to my understanding is you're using him with disqualified, so the total number of winners is
Stay the
still
same.
the
Yeah,
promised
you're
number
right.
of
You're
winners.
right. You're right. Exactly.
So the
Exactly.
prize pool got paid out exactly. So that part I understand, but if
Exactly.
you're telling me that on the side you had a special deal where you got some benefits or
No,
dollars
no,
or
no,
whatever,
no. Yeah,
Mike,
it's just
why
it's just
can't
the
you
people
put
below me got a
40
pay
in
jump.
that?
Why can't I what?
but
I checked you there.
So
but
Bobby,
then you
it's
got
the same.
140.
I don't want to
I
talk
thought
about
I
it.
had the
It's the
best
same.
hand.
It's
I
the
thought,
same
like,
payout.
if I had shit, I would have bluffed, but I thought King Queen was good.
But I'm happy with what this I did.
wait, look, I don't mean to be a stickler on this. If you don't want to talk about it, just tell me and I'll stop asking.
I don't think
Luke's
there's.
excited. I think Luke's excited to talk about it. I think you just need to ask the right questions.
I don't think there's anything else to
so-
say.
No, so okay, so you give me the hint that they gave you some prize money.
No,
Either
I
prize
made.
money or some money payout.
No, I didn't make any hints. I said I got my account banned on that site. I'm happy with the site, and people below me got a pay jump. That's it.
Bobby, these lines are really easy to
Yeah,
read.
it's a
between.
pretty damn simple line.
Peter,
Easy.
so talk to me.
They're
Tell
not
me.
like, they're like this.
Bobby, it's like
I read all of them.
Okay, so someone explain it to me other than Luke.
No,
Bobby.
because
Bobby,
that's
Bobby, there's nothing to explain.
No, other than Luke. Someone explain it to me.
Luke had to do sexual favors for the CEO to get his money.
That's what I
That's
figured.
what happened. That's why he said he wouldn't tell.
At the massage parlor.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I
Fly down
figured,
to
that's
fly
what I
down to Costa Rica, and yeah.
If it, yeah, I mean, yeah,
That's what I figured.
totally.
And now we've gone and embarrassed him on stream. Like we did. Look what we did.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, good hand.
King high, huh?
Yep.
No respect.
0.
Call me down, King High.
Well, you wouldn't tell me the story, so I had to call you down. So since he's not here, I'll tell you what I think. I think they threatened him with something, and now he's talking. He's saying good things about ACR.
I mean, we all know Bobby. When the camera.
You know the outcome of what happened.
I think so. I think so.
But so Peter, let me ask you this logic. So the question comes out to whether he got paid his full prize money, right? Just out of intellectual
Well, the
curiosity.
exact number, I have no idea.
I don't care about the dollar figure. I don't care about. My question is, if he got paid out his prize money, then it appears based on his description, then the casino, the poker room paid out more than the promised prize pool, right? And if, on the other hand, if the casino paid out the exact prize pool to all the people that were not disqualified, then it feels like the casino did not have extra money to pay out prize pool or to settle with Luke. That's sort of my illogical, my analysis. And please tell me if I'm thinking about this wrong.
I just don't think there's like a deep accounting analysis that even needs to be done. Like, I'm happy that the site caught it. I spoke with the team; it's very helpful, and I think it's a good site to play poker
the way
on.
You say it, you're like. It's
Bobby,
like they made
Bobby.
you sign some NDA. It's like you got.
I didn't sign any NDA. I'm happy to talk about what happened. My account got banned playing in a tournament. I used a different name than my real name. They told me I should use my real name. I can still play on the site, and people below me got a pay jump. It is that simple, and that's it.
Okay, so thank you for clarifying. Now, can I ask the other participants in this Zoom conference what they think?
No, you can't. You're
No,
not
you
allowed to
can't.
ask anyone
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next subject.
Holy shit.
We just have to accept that you've missed.
Yeah, Bobby, if I ever need a lawyer to defend me and to interrogate someone or whatnot, I'm calling you. Okay, you seem like you know how to get the tough answers out of someone. You really.
Yeah.
Maybe, but right. I don't know. I think you missed. I think you missed the answer.
Like, is someone else, like, I don't know, like the rest of you guys.
Bobby,
do you guys
man,
see the logical
Bobby.
flaw in that? Or is it just, or am I like?
There's not like any hidden info. Like I said what happened. That's it. I don't know what to tell you.
No, that's fine. I accept your answers, but it doesn't mean that the story is complete, right? Luke?
So now you get a bit more.
I don't need to ask you any more things because you have refused to clarify between the lines. But my question for the rest of you guys
it's pretty clear.
Like, does anyone see it?
You got to mute Bobby now.
Mute.
You got to mute
Peter,
Bobby.
are you in on this?
There's nothing to be in on. I've
Nothing to be in on.
I've seen the
Yeah,
lines.
that's what I'm saying. There's not like a crazy conspiracy. I played in a poker tournament. My account got banned. What the hell do you want? Yeah. What else do you want? Like, holy shit. It's like I made a trade. I lost money. That's it. That's the end of the trade.
At least it wasn't Ripple.
I wish Tether was like a big conspiracy, but it's just not. It's just people depositing money.
Mike, what's the expert play here? I check to you.
Probably to bet if you have my hand.
All right. I have to bet here.
I guess we have the same hand.
We must. Oh.
The fuck, Bobby?
Bobby.
Good run out for me.
Good play. Good play.
Thank you. That was a pretty lucky turn card.
I wasn't sure if he was buffing.
I don't think he was.
Oh, and speaking of online poker, Mike, do you have a lineup yet for Doug Polk versus Negrano? I've been playing Doug a little bit. Heads up.
Oh, nice.
I probably played him three days this week. I was telling Peter and them I lost money, lost my total buy-in the first time, and the other time I think I won $100, but I didn't play too many hands. What do you think happens there?
So we've let me link to the
That's gonna be exciting, dude.
The market. I'm stoked for it.
It's gonna be.
We have
awesome.
Doug as a big. We have Doug as a big favorite.
Do you really?
Yeah, we just posted that there. If
Why?
someone wants to bet Negrano,
Yeah.
because Doug's.
Anyone betting Negrano?
We're getting some people betting Negrano. Because we're giving about we're giving about 3-1 odds on Negrano.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Doug is just he's the best of all time at that format kind of thing, and Negrano has never played that format.
But Doug,
so it's
yeah.
What are they
it's-
playing for, a fixed amount or time?
I think they haven't set the exact amount yet. It's somewhere between 10,000 and 25,000 hands. So that would be like 2 tables for 50 to 100 hours kind of thing. So it's yeah.
It's a lot of a lot of hands.
Yeah,
But
probably go play 4 hours a day for, a couple days a week for like 6 weeks or something.
Can you back out at any point?
No.
I think
really?
I'm guessing they'll do some sort of backout rule, like add on like $100,000 side bet, and you have to pay the $100,000 if you lose or something. Like, I'm assuming they'll do something like that. But yeah, they're playing. If one person crushes the other, you could lose. You could lose $1.5 million, $2 million at the format that they're agreeing to, kind of thing. Like
what is it? It's 200, 400?
200, 400.
200,
yeah.
400 heads up.
400. What's the cap?
I don't think they've said. I mean, assuming it's 40K max buy-in, and I don't know if they have any rules regarding changing tables if you're over 80K or anything like that.
Got it.
Yeah, probably they'll just each buy in for 40K, top up when they're down, etc.
God, it's gonna be so much. It's just gonna be incredible content because I think they're both gonna be on the video call, right? Like they can see each other. I think that's at least Doug suggested that. Like
I mean, the video call definitely helps Negreanu, I think. Where it's like, I think
he can talk.
Negreanu's much more experienced with live poker. He's, Doug is, played all his heads up, behind a computer screen when Negreanu's played almost all face to face. Like I think that gives him more of a chance, but it's still just, it's like, I don't know. Doug's just really good at this kind of thing. So I think it's, I think Doug is. We're happier when people are betting. Despite the odds, we're happier when people bet Negreanu than when they bet Doug, I guess.
Okay. It's just like even after that much time off, I guess he just has the drive again to study and to get the hand. He's been playing a ton of hands. It seems like.
Yeah, and it's also just like, if Doug were to challenge whoever's the best player right now one-on-one, Doug would probably get trounced. And, even if he had a year to prepare, he'd probably still be an underdog, probably not a big underdog at that point. Like I think Doug is likely more talented than whoever's number one right now. But it's, it's just like Negreanu just hasn't played this format. And I also, not to shit talk Negreanu or whatnot, but like Negreanu's had spots where like he's gotten coaching on different games before, and he always gets the wrong coaching kind of thing. Like, it's just
I see.
Like if he were to ask the top 10, 20 players, like who should I be getting coaching from, etc., he'd do that. But I think it's just like his approach for who to get coaching from has usually been wrong. Yeah, I don't know.
See.
So I don't really.
So lucky with that river. Are you kidding me?
Chris, can't catch a break, dude.
Hey,
Kidding me?
That's so
Chris,
fucked.
come on, man. At least you split that one.
That's true.
So I was
That's
up
true.
all the way to
At
the
least you
river.
split
What do you
it.
mean?
No, at least you split it.
Though. You didn't lose it.
Yeah, but you should
That's
be
a
losing. You should be
ridiculous
losing.
cooler, by the way. That was a fucking setup. I had raised there too. Did you guys watch Phil Galfond and what's his name, Vivaldi?
Vinvidi?
Yeah.
I watched some of that.
Yeah, that was some of the most exciting poker I've ever seen.
I know, right?
It's so down to the wire.
That's pretty cool. I think the entertainment value of this one's gonna be much higher.
Well, it's great for running once, I hope.
Yeah.
Oh no, this won't be. This will be like Doug runs Upswing, which is like a competitor to Run It Once. They'll be doing it somewhere else.
No, I know. I'm saying for Phil
The old
Galfond.
one. The old one.
Oh yeah. The other stuff's been good for Phil. Have you seen this Legends Showdown thing that Phil's running?
Oh, he's running it. I know that.
So it's like a 6-person. Yeah, it's a 6-person heads-up bracket with I would say 4 of the top 20 heads-up guys and 2 other guys who are kind of well-rounded players who also have heads-up backgrounds, kind of thing. So 6 very good players, kind of duking it out in this kind of like elimination bracket type thing. So that's going on over the next few weeks, and that seems like kind of a cool thing where it's like a challenge to sweat along with that doesn't take like a month, kind of thing.
Well, that's the one. So they released the Helmuth won first, right? Who was he playing?
Oh yeah, so there was that one is via who is that? That's with Poker Central, Poker Go, I think, and it was Helmuth against Espardiari.
Okay.
They've been playing that.
It was really boring.
Oh really? Yeah. That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
What made it so boring? Just the play or the commentary, or like what was bad about it?
They were just seemingly tired, and the hands were, they were.
Yeah. Yeah, that's we've always kind of like with our site, we've always thought that those Poker Go events would be good for us, where it's like they get good viewership, good production value usually, and stuff like that. But like they've been the company that's been toughest for us to work with, where it's like they always like give this one they told us they wanted us to make odds for it, but they wouldn't even tell us the format. Like they're like they tell us go make odds, and they won't even give us details, kind of thing. So we've had our share of issues with them.
Interesting.
Curious what kind of odds we would get if we ran this as a 9-person sit and go. Who'd be the favorite?
I mean, I'm going to call myself the favorite.
It's definitely not me. Definitely not me.
Definitely not Spada.
Chris might be the favorite, if I'm not in the game, bringing all the bad luck his way.
Don't know, dude. Yeah. He's had his runs without you here as well.
Oh, shit.
See these moves Binance is making? Like, it's so crazy how these centralized exchanges now, how the tables have turned so much. And now they got to, like, race. They just announced that they're listing Curve after Curve was supposedly
Ninja launch
this afternoon. Yeah, Ninja launch supposedly by a random person that like copied their like head admin. I don't know what the fuck. But now it's on Binance. It's on Binance now.
Pretty confident that actually was what happened. But.
What?
No, man.
I don't know about that. I think it's a great tactic to eliminate any kind of legal.
Yeah, of course.
But that's it could have happened. Who knows?
Like that's what these centralized exchanges. They have a window of opportunity right now where everyone wants to play these coins. They don't give a fuck where they can buy them, but people can't buy them if the fees are crazy and fucking shit's nuts on Uniswap. So there's a good opportunity to take some market share right now.
Is this one?
That's a centralized exchange, or?
Who doesn't have 10? It might have a jack.
Yeah. He is right.
Oh, fucking river.
I don't know. I feel like traders aren't exactly loyal to any particular.
We both had the 10s.
Exchange, right?
Yeah, well, most of the coins are only available on Uniswap, right? So all these coins that are on Uniswap are pumping, but then the fees are just so ridiculous now, and it's so slow, that you can't even make your trades. They don't even go through a lot of the times because the gas prices are just moving so fast.
Mike, if I rejam there, do you call it the straight?
Nah, probably not. It's pretty scary. You've got Pete behind you as well. Yeah. Like, yeah, it would be kind of a nice play to bluff me off the chop there.
Queen 10. Yeah.
Looks like you can easily have a full house or whatnot.
That'd be a ballsy move.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like I get value owned there more than I make more money.
Did you see Curve's comment on the Binance listing announcement on Twitter is OMFG?
No, I didn't see it.
In the official account. That's amazing.
Wait, so it's already live right now? It's trading?
Let me see.
It's probably working.
List deposits now open. So it's probably gonna go live tomorrow. Deposits are open now.
Oh man.
Curve's gonna fly. Curve's already flying. What did it go up today? It was like
wait.
Like fully
$5 million market cap? That can't be right on CoinGecko.
For Curve? No, that can't be right.
Curve DAO token CRV. That's what it's listed as on Binance. Why would they? They have the supply wrong,
Something
or
must be fishy there.
what's the problem?
Something's going on because I was reading a couple threads, like the fully diluted market cap is like
Billions.
like 50 billion,
Yeah, it's
like something retarded.
what am I missing here? This is the right coin on Uniswap. It has 3 million in volume.
I don't know, man.
Fully diluted valuation is 106 billion. Market cap 5 million. Did they make that, Matt? Did CoinGecko mess
No,
up?
that 106 billion fully diluted is what I was reading before.
So if they have that number right, how do they have? Oh, because circulating supply is only 160,000 of the potential 1 billion.
Yeah, I think so.
So I guess it'll just rip on open.
It will rip, yeah, probably.
So it's like a serum type trade. You just market buy and pray that everyone else does.
Pretty sure everyone's going to. Like, if there's ever, this is even more. I'm even more confident on this than serum.
This is starting to feel like 2017.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Party like it's 2017.
For some good parties.
What's it trading? What's the price on Uniswap right now?
$28.
At a market cap of 30 million, that's what it said?
5. I feel like that has to be wrong.
That can't make sense.
It just doesn't make sense, but let's see.
I was reading something. I was reading some posts earlier about like it being like, I don't know, like $500 or something like that.
Yeah, let me just see what it is on Uniswap. I'll pull it up. Man, this Uniswap is pretty bad. All right. Etherscan. You said $500?
You use Uniswap?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've played around.
Using some lid? Is that what you were doing?
I haven't bought any lid. I've bought less than 5 coins. So 1 ETH will get you 12 CRVs of this contract.
Probably like 1,000 contracts on Uniswap.
That's actually right? Like what's 28 times 12? 336. That's not, I don't know. Something's not adding
I'm
up.
sure if you went on their Twitter, it would show maybe it would show the official contract. They must have like put a post up. I don't even know, but they probably put a post up saying like, "This is the contract." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, let me see. All right, I have it right here. I have the contract address. Ah, it's the right one. For 1 ETH, you get 14 CRVs. It's the one they tweeted out. Am I missing something? Like, why wouldn't everyone be buying that?
I don't know. Because I would agree, right? Like,
Oh, so it's only been live for 1 hour.
on the Uniswap pool.
Yeah. They published that 1 hour ago. That might be why.
But I feel like even before the game, I was reading that people went live with it. Like there was some speculation.
What are you calling there, Pete?
Strong.
You're muted.
Yeah.
I had a pocket pair.
Hmm.
I think you rivered me there.
Yeah. I did. Oh yeah, that must be the right address, Chris, because people are firing. Someone just fired in 52 ETH on Uniswap, which is a pretty outrageous transaction. Yeah, that's the legit thing. I'm gonna have to play around on Uniswap after
I
this.
I just got a notification in one of the OTC rooms I'm in. A CRV OTC deal is ongoing.
Yeah.
Well, you said that.
That must be real. That's a pretty wild trade.
What has it moved? Has it moved at all? Has it literally only been live an hour?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at it more after this game, but looks like it. If it was live longer than an hour, then it wasn't like publicly live. It was only live by the person who launched it. 0xC4AD is his name. He launched the coin and put a picture of a llama.
When now?
So tempting, Pete.
Man, like you gotta think like Curve is doing an Aragon DAO. Aragon went listed on Huobi and Binance the last 2 days. Now Curve pops anonymously. Like that's super fishy, man. Come on.
Man,
Fucking joke.
a bit low, a bit high, you fold. Sorry,
Yeah.
a bit high, you call.
Huh? If you bet higher, I fold.
No, sorry, a bit high. I think you call easy.
I don't think so. So I honestly thought like in my head, I almost said it out loud. Like I lose that. I feel like 90% of the time.
I thought I stole that quite well. I can't get anything tonight.
When you're betting there, I just think I'm losing, but it's like I'll throw in the $100 to maybe win 500 there. I don't know. I don't know.
I was surprised you called my bet on the turn.
Yeah, I don't know. It's second pair. Like I block your Jack 10.
Second pair, not a great figure.
Second pair and a gut shot. Like you,
Yeah.
if the board comes at 8, you have such a good hand.
Yeah,
I haven't hit a hand in fucking...
I called it. I'm not like excited about it, but when you bet on the river, especially that small, I'm like, oh god, it's just milking me for money.
Well, that's what I thought.
It's a nice call.
It is.
Bobby.
I thought it just looked like a...
It did. It looked like a pure value. I had no diamonds. You could add all the flushes. You had small
Oh,
blind.
the queen there.
I also had a 7 though, Pete. So I block your 7/8.
Yeah.
Block your Jack 9s. I don't know.
Do you have a good kicker?
I have not hit a fucking hand.
It's a
since
2.
those fires.
This is still blowing my mind that CRV is at what am I missing?
Luke,
What?
if you find anything that like suggests that I shouldn't smash green, like right when we're done this,
I mean,
tell
I
me,
think you should
please.
smash green. I don't know. I don't know. That's the correct contract. That's the one they posted on their Twitter.
because that's going to balloon to like at least 100 or 200 million in volume. I mean, in market cap. Do we know what the token release schedule is at all? Like, what's the mechanism for this launch?
I don't know. Those aren't the type of things that I make money evaluating. I don't know. I want to see the chart.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know what, like, they may be, like, mining it, right? So, like, the tokens every day is going to incrementally increase in total circulating supply. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think, like, the market, at least for the past couple of weeks, has shown, like, people just don't even care about that. Like, they're buying, yams that are rebasing 10x the supply. Like, it's...
I know. And it's Curve, like, it's like one of the darlings of the space.
That's why it feels like 2017 again. It's all this here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fucking joke right now.
Buy the hype is actually working.
No, that's a basis of a bull market.
Yeah. Buy first, think later. Oh, such a cooler. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Sorry, Mike.
Oh.
The run good continues. Damn, that's crazy.
I couldn't get that, eh? Just you.
Well, I'm just like 14 weeks lucky. It's weird playing not drinking though.
Hey, you should have one, Pete. After that hand. I don't want to be a negative peer pressure though.
Yeah, you can have that much. It's not that good. No, I've actually got this like I am sober thing. So in like 3 hours, I hit a week. I'm kind of like.
It was the last couple hands really took a number on you last week, eh?
Yeah, do you know what it was? I don't even want to talk about it.
Fair. No, no, this is the longest I've gone without drinking in quite some time, and it's tough to do. I feel like after the first week, I don't know. It's the first couple of days are definitely tough.
It wasn't a game. Because I'd been drinking for 9 hours basically during that game.
Yeah.
Next day, and I felt awful.
I get hungover after drinking that long. I can't even imagine if I was a little bit older.
Now the 3.
Oh,
Kings both times.
I was just bitching. I hadn't had a fucking hand in ages, and I've gone Kings. Was that 2 and 3?
Wow.
Here come the big hands. Always find a way late in the night.
I told you the last hour or so.
Chris, do you make trades through that guy, OTC?
The private OTC room?
Yeah.
You talking about Eric's room?
I don't know the room. You said you were in a group that was doing that.
Yeah, no, I just wasn't sure if you're talking about the group I'm talking about in particular. But...
I quoted that on Uniswap, the prices I saw.
So yeah, I've made trades with them. I don't know. They didn't announce what the price was that they were doing the trade. They were just saying, I'm looking at OTC deals right now. I want to sell, and these are usually real, 500 CRV for $15,000. 500.
Okay, so let me do the math on that. So 500 CRV for 15K.
It's like $300 a coin, right?
Wait. That's $50 a coin. So yeah, these prices I'm seeing are real. Basically, it's like if you don't want to sit here for 2 hours and put transactions through Uniswap.
I feel like you're bluffing that, Bobby. I haven't got anything.
It actually might be a good deal.
I was bluffing.
Yeah, I thought you were. But it's not a bluff unless you show the cards. So I don't believe you bluff.
Ace high.
Well, I had ace high. Kicker was a 7.
Literally, if I tried to go on Uniswap right now and buy it at that price, I'd have to literally fuck around for hours.
You wouldn't have to fuck around for hours, but like at least unless I'm using it wrong, and I don't use Uniswap too much, but if you buy more than like 1 ETH at a time, you start to get slipped. So like even if you buy 1 ETH, you get slipped like almost 1%. But that's not the shitty part. It's that every single transaction you have to adjust the gas to make sure your transaction goes through, and like 1 out of every 3 of mine usually doesn't go through. It's like in the past, like last week I bought a coin on here and it took me like almost 3 hours to buy what I wanted to buy.
What do these coins do? What does CRV? What the fuck? I don't understand all this shit. What do they do?
So CRV is an exchange.
Goes up.
Essentially, it's an exchange. But the what's interesting about it, Pete, is they've pretty much become one of the biggest exchanges for stable coins and staking and so forth, but they never released a coin. So they're like, a coin's coming, and they've been saying that for like 9 months, and they've just been getting more people to trade on their platform and more users and so forth. And then today they supposedly said someone launched it for them, and like now it's live.
And you don't know which one it is?
Pardon?
You know which one it is?
Well, yeah, but the problem is on this exchange Uniswap that everyone trades on, you can list any coin you want. So people, like all these scammers will go on there and list 1,000 of the same ticker just with the wrong Ethereum address. So like you go on there, you put CRV into Uniswap, and you'll see like a bunch. So you don't know which one's the actual one.
But they tweeted this one. This is the real one.
Yeah, this is a real one. Yeah.
Mike's just 3-betting me every single fucking time I'm in the hand here.
Been working out really well.
Oh.
Thought about going pot. Just like, I don't know if I can fold out your one paired hands. You're sticky.
Ace-X hands.
Luke, I have a super legit connect for OTC on altcoins. So I'm inquiring right now. If you want to go in with me, I'll let you know what prices and stuff are.
Yeah. I'll take a look after this. I mean, I guess it's like, should be kind of a red flag if the fully diluted market cap is 85 billion. It does at least like make me, you know, gives me a little bit of pause before I just shovel money in. Like,
well, I guess you have been trading DeFi coins lately. That
yeah, like Bitcoin's market cap. Bitcoin's market cap is at 200 billion right now.
I was recently digging through some of the shit that I trade and found some coin that its diluted market cap was over 100 billion, and I was like, "Ooh, this random coin that's been getting delisted from exchanges with 100 billion market cap, probably not a good buy."
Holy shit! Wait, okay, this is recent. This is a coin.
Yeah, this was maybe 5 weeks ago or something like that. TNC coin. TNC. Yeah, it's got a 260 million market cap and only 0.2% of the supply is out. So,
wait, what is that supply? Is that one more than a trillion?
Yeah, trillion market cap with 11 cents a coin.
Or a trillion supply.
Or trillion tokens, yeah.
Wait, that's more than a trillion, I think, right? Isn't that one more? How do you even say that?
I think
number?
it's a trillion.
Oh, is it
I think that's a trillion.
That looks like one more than a trillion.
Yeah. It's a lot of zeros there, that's for sure. And I was like, yeah, we might want to sell this one.
That's bigger than Bitcoin right there.
Guys, I'm gonna get going soon.
Got you there in the end. That's so brutal.
I was like, bet the flop now. You'll fucking call me.
I had
talking
combo draw there. Oh man, to buy curve or not to buy curve? I wish they didn't even show the fully diluted cap. Like, they should just hide that. It'd be a snap buy, but since they show it, I don't know.
What?
They should just show the current market cap. I think that's that should be the standard.
I showed that just because you think I'm constantly bluffing. So
No. I thought you had a hand there. I had like a pair and a gut shot.
Luke, I'm doing no research right now on Curve. I'm assuming you're doing some. So if you
Uh,
do some, let me know what you find.
I'm literally I'm just highlighting the fully diluted market cap over and over, thinking it through.
It's bigger than Bitcoin, man. Listen, it just dropped today. It's bigger than Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty surprised by Serum. It's already up at $2. I think it kind of shows people's appetite for risk right now. It's pretty high.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
It was like 220, 230. It got up to today, I think, or something like that. Obviously, no one can see the Zoom chat, right?
Are we live?
We are live. I can kill the stream.